We're live. Wind down. All right. What's going on, everyone? Peace, power, and profit to the wonderful people out there. Dealing with this day, dealing with this market, dealing with this virus, trying to make sense of it all. Again, doing what we do best in terms as financial warriors, as I like to call it. Right, getting after the stock market in a way where we're just trying to stay on top of everything that's surrounding the financial markets, obviously, which is very important because we're dealing with what now, right? We're dealing with this kind of social governance, if I should use that terminology, right? This social governance right now that, again, if you are a Bernie Sanders fan or you wasn't a Bernie Sanders fan, whatever the case, he's actually getting his mandate fulfilled right now. Social governance at the highest level in terms of these financial institutions, in terms of the overall president himself, who actually pushed back against the ideal of socialism and all this other stuff like that. And people say, well, brother Afurakan, these are uncertain times. Okay, well, hey, during uncertain times, you do what? You still stick to your principles, your morals, and your laurels or whatever, and you govern in a way where you keep things in essence where that pretty much coincide with what your talking points are. You find ways to equip the market what it needs, equip the American people what they need, but you still stay, grounded in what you completely ran on as a president to a degree, right? Because everything we're getting now is 100% the antithesis to everything that they've been claiming that they are not, in terms as being socially responsible to the American people, to the financial markets as a whole. Again, the goal is bail out everybody, right? Bail out everybody, right? Bail out the tadpoles. Right now they're trying to have lack of water. Bail out the canaries that have problem with they ain't no flowers on the trees or whatever. I mean, you guys get my point, right? So again, I just say right now, these are the moments where, from a historical context, we're going to look back and say, man, this was crazy, right? Because right now you're seeing just that. And as you can see, the title of this particular broadcast, this live session here is pretty much, our market's immune to the coronavirus, right? We see that the Dow Jones is up over 500 points, actually, right now as I'm speaking, up near 593 points right now, pretty much at the highs of today, right? We know that the market broke over a key level of resistance that was set in terms of $260 a share on the S&P 500, which is which was a major line in the sand, as far as equity investors or traders who were looking to benchmark their trades based upon that level of resistance, right? And as of now, again, the Feds have literally pumped so much money into the markets. I was just stemming from later last night to today to overshadow any kind of uncertainty as far as this coronavirus in terms of containment. Again, the bodies in New York, you guys are there in New York. Like I know my sister Playhut, I see her in the back chat. Hey, what's going on with Eva? Peace, power, profit to you, right? She's in New York. I'm pretty sure other people, like we know, like Sister Drumette, and many others, right? Our brother Garfield, over Garfield itself, whatever. A lot of our people are up there, and they're starting to see the damage that this virus is doing, right? They're starting to realize just the severity of this virus, right? And the bodies are piling up. I mean, it's so crazy. It's like, where do you start? Just talk. Anything you talk about right now, it just relates back to this virus and just how rampant it has become, right? So, in other aspects of understanding how markets react to these kind of news reels, or however you want to call them, sound bites, or however, they typically balance out in a way where you don't have all this this bullish aggression, right? Or as we like to call it, this irrational exuberance, right? Where you have the market pretty much just shrugging it all off like it's no big deal, as if your money is not scared of this, the outcome of what may come. In essence, that to put it in more context, as if your money is well spent in equity markets right now, as opposed to obviously providing you with PPE masks, PPE gowns, N95 masks, the availability to be able to shop at the grocery stores and get what you need, to get your bills paid in terms of rent, this, that, and the third, right? So basically, the Federal Reserve is taking the approach where they're going to use taxpayers' money, because that's basically what this is. And anytime you're going into QE, quantitative easing, reverse repo operations that they're performing is pretty much borrowed money, right? Printed money just out of thin air, which obviously comes with a debt note attached to it. Yes, it does, right? It doesn't just vanish the same way it got printed. Typically reflecting back to the nation, right? Well, who's the nation? American people, right? So you're going to be stuck holding that bag. Now, basically, in the repo market, the repo operations that they perform, they will provide these banks with this access of liquidity. Obviously, we know as to be as cash or digital cash. They funnel that money into the markets, obviously. They don't funnel it into Main Street. They funnel it into the stock market. So the banks can obviously, invest in certain assets, right? They're not necessarily just sitting on the money saying, okay, we're going to loan this money to whomever. They pumping that money into the stock market through various different assets, through different pension funds, mutual funds, bond coupon values, things of that nature, and equity stocks as a whole, right? Which we know that, Jerome Powell pretty much came out emphatically saying that now that he has the full-blown power to exercise the strength of the Federal Reserve, which obviously they've been showing you that they are definitely going to do that. They're just pretty much at this point buying shares of stocks outright themselves, meaning equities. Obviously, we know they're going to go for the ETF base, more specifically the S&P 500, right? And so we're seeing that again through the different orders, lot orders that are coming through level 2 scanners, the dark pool markets. We're seeing all these things happen, right? We're seeing it all unfold. And the one question I ask is again, regardless if you are investing in the market long term or not, because again, some of us got long term pensions out there, thrift plans, 401k, Roth, the whole nine. I get it, right? But it's still, we understand this in the same breath. The same way you invest in a long term savings portfolio or pension fund, you understand there's risk involved with that. Nothing is guaranteed, right? So what I see, it just again, my opinion here is that you have an entitled mindset governance that's happening right now before us, where they're unloading every playbook of what a socialist economy or socialist democratic mandate will look like. And then they're telling you that it's not that, it's something else, right? So again, just being able to understand exactly what that means, right? In terms of removing the fluff from the conversation, talking points and all the hyperbole you're going to get from people saying, well, these are moments where, you can't have it both ways. And that's basically what we're seeing here, where they're trying to assess, the ability that the market should take more precedence over. It should take more precedence over your life, your safety, right? And you will say, well, that's a little bit, kind of, incendiary to say that, Brother African Poor. Why would you say that? Well, case in point, again, you're talking about a scenario where we're basically about a month and a couple weeks in terms of the level of this coronavirus that has taken hold over, your lives, my lives, everybody, the nation as a whole, the world as a whole. A lot of you guys been shut down well over now, going over a week and some change now, right? Near 2 weeks for some people, a little bit more than for others, right? Again, work is pretty much going to the wayside. Yet and still, we know that, again, just going off the data, what we've been seeing as far as market related, trillions of dollars have gone into the stock market. Trillions, not billions alone, but trillions of dollars has gone into the stock market since then. Started stemming back well over about a month and a couple weeks. And yet you, again, the hard worker, the benchmark of society that makes this nation what it is, that these people are always touting about, that you are the backbone of the country and the nation and the economy. You still stuck sitting there waiting to get what you feel like is just due you, right? And so it's coming in the guise of doing some things that's necessary. Obviously, stopping bills and stopping interest values on certain your loans and credit cards, and again keeping people from getting evicted, this, that, and the third. But I asked a very simple question: can you eat that though? Can you feed your baby off that? Right? Can you, take care of the buy your toilet paper with that? Right? You need cash in hand the same way they, dumping all this liquidity right into equity markets, like it's running water, like it's just, there's no, it's an unlimited tap. Um, you know, and here it is, you still got to wait by another 2 or 3 weeks, right, before you actually get a little bag, right, before the IRS, actually sends those checks out, right, those Trump checks, right, those little welfare checks. Again, people that can benefit off of it, you best spend it on things you need, or not save it for a rainy day if you desperately don't need it, right? Again, that check is set up to pretty much, just to be kind of frank about it, that they want you to dump it back into, to the economy, right? They're not saying, hey, get this check and sit on it, because they don't want you to do that, right? They need to see some kind of spending going on into the economy in a way, where it can kind of validate some of this, insane amounts of money that they're printing at the Federal Reserve, dumping it into what? Financial markets, right? And not necessarily dumping it into the hands of the taxpayer, which is you guys, right? They're not putting that money, again, to use in a way where, again, you can really, really tangibly say, okay, man, this is what I need, right? This is what I need to kind of get ahead a little bit, sustain a little bit, because as of what we know now, we're going to be sitting down again, which we already knew. Like, again, we're smart people over here. We're critical think over here, right? We exercise every, neuron in our brain, whatever we can, to get to the, the best possible answer possible so we can make good decisions, right? So we was already knowing that we were going to be shut down a heck of a lot longer than a Easter Sunday timeline that Trump was throwing out, right? He's so giddy to want to open up this economy, right? So bad to put all these people in danger, right? Using all these this asinine talking points as if he's a scientist, right, or virologist, right? Into those things, like he just played one on the weekend, right? The Geico commercial, right? And so again, at the rate at where the infection is starting to really take off, again, knowing New York is just a hotbed right now, knowing other states are now and other cities are starting to come online, like Detroit, Chicago, their numbers are ramping up. Even places like down in the South, Louisiana, like Louisiana right now, New Orleans, new hotbed down there is catching fire down there, for lack of better terminology. Right, so all these things are starting to really, be backed by the data. When I say that, meaning now that people are obviously being able to get tested, once they said we actually had all the test kits we needed about over a month ago, and we had no test kits going back to that, because I'm never going to downplay that, right? And I don't care if you are an avid Trump fan, you're not a Trump fan, you're for the administration, you're not for the administration. This is not about politics. This is just about truth and reality, right? So if you got a problem with truth and reality, you might want to plug your ears. You might want to log off and come back on a little bit later when we start popping up, showing some charts. But as of right now, again, just going strictly off the data, removing your emotions, we was not prepared. We didn't do what we supposed to have done when we had the chance to do what we should have done at a point where it matters most now, because you got more people dead that probably should not be dead. And you can say, well, that's hindsight. No, it's not hindsight. It's understanding how viruses work when you are in a pandemic perspective, right? Knowing that, again, this administration gutted that pandemic relief bill, if you want to call it that Obama had set in place, right? They had money set aside for the CDC and first responders for moments just like this, whether you use it or you don't. And it's fun too, because everything that you're hearing come out of Trump's mouth is what? Well, we inherited this system, we inherited this, this stockpile, we inherited all this stuff. And then first time you see a reporter fire back at him saying, hey, dude, you've been in office for 3 years. This is not your first year and you dealing with this. You've been in office 3 years, and you've been the one that was you was the one that signed the paper that cut spending from those institutions. Now that they're most needed right now. And so again, I'm just saying this, and again, this is not a political, just strictly common sense and facts from a humanistic perspective. Again, but we're seeing markets react as if like this virus is going away, like it's like we're done with the whole ideal of this thing. Pretty much like the market sees this coronavirus as a scenario where we done peaked and it is okay, right? It is okay to get back in equity market. And then you say again, here's the flip side of that. People are like, well, man, but the market needed a boost. right? I mean, come on, man. We didn't want to, people losing money. Okay, well, like they tell anybody, right? You never risk more than you're willing to lose, and you know the consequences of being in the market. And even moments like this, you don't get a get out of jail free pass just because your money wrapped up in the market and you bought it at all time highs. And I say that because they ain't showing that same type of love for Main Street. Main Street didn't ask for this. But again, you got people who are homeless, you got people who are financially indigent, whatever the case, and you know they were already counting, pennies before this even hit. Now that everything even been shut down, any opportunity they might have had to even kind of procure a little income here and there, all that stuff going to the wayside. What are they doing right now? And they got children. So again, this ain't hard to piece this together and realize, okay, so you mean to tell me Wall Street and billionaires and people who got tons of money are more important than the actual people who are dealing with this virus, who may be compromised from a health perspective because they don't have money and insurance and things of that nature to protect themselves during a moment like this. And so you're trying to literally perform an act of natural selection through the value of, again, stalling people out, not providing the test kits, saying that we had everything. And so while people are not getting tested, people already contracted this virus. They've already passed it on. Some of them probably passed away from it that wasn't able to get care in a timely fashion because they had really no understanding of what to do because again, they're getting instructions as they're going along. Yet still, again, there seems to be, a scenario where it's just business as usual down at Wall Street. And again, all that money that's pumping into it, is obviously reflective of, again, the Federal Reserve having unlimited firepower to pump financial markets as if, we're in the all clear at this point, as if, we're not also in a recession, as if also we haven't already expanded the debt bubble bigger than it already was before we went into this scenario, knowing that it was going to come back and bite us in the behind, right? So I'm just me personally. I'm not seeing a financially responsible. I'm not seeing that value when people say fiduciary responsibility happening in no context, right? In no context that matters most. If you really want people to feel a little bit more comfortable in terms of how you really lead from the front and not try to, band-aid everything with $100 bill. And sometimes it takes a little bit more than that, right? It actually takes some real groundwork and resources, things that need to come together, and tangible products, tangible goods, not just the talk of just, we looking to buy this, whatever, buy this and buy that to try to stop this bleeding and hemorrhaging of the markets. And it's just crazy, because that's basically what it is. They're doing it to stop the hemorrhaging of the market. Because again, we're still seeing people or hearing cases where people without certain supplies they need, right? We're still seeing that. And that's again, to me, that's still problematic, right? So again, then you will have those people kick back and say, well, what would you do in this scenario? I mean, what's your solution, right? That's when people get to doubling down and backtracking on on reality to try to wiggle themselves out of being responsible as adults to make good critical decisions that helps each and everyone have some kind of value of comfort. Because I guarantee you right now, where, matter of fact, let me just share my screen while I'm talking. Again, y'all know let's get them receipts up there. Let's get them receipts up there, so we can kind of stay abreast of why exactly I'm speaking the way I'm speaking. Right, this is your S&P 500 right now. Right, let's back this out. Right, this is at the beginning of the market around this point here. This is how it came off. Pretty much the lows after the market was obviously known after the press release we saw yesterday. Some of you guys might have caught that with Donald Trump speaking about the, pretty much giving people an update on the coronavirus and what the joint the Corona Task Force and all those guys are doing and this, that, and the third. Which obviously it sounded like a circus like any other broadcast we've been watching of late when they're coming on, meaning the administration trying to tell people about the market. Because I keep saying the market exposed to the virus, right? That's not by accident. because a lot of this is inundated with the nuance of them trying to talk to Wall Street. The market's gonna come roaring back. We got to save the economy. Again, the economy is taking precedence over human life. In essence, we saw how that ravaged Italy. Italy tried to play that game too. Slow to move, still trying to have tourists come in, right? Allowing all the Asians coming into their community, right? They're trying to get people down to the Parthenon and all over Rome, trying to get them tourist dollars, right? And now their death toll is just through the roof. Spain kind of a little slow too. Their deaths are starting to pick up as well, right? So you're seeing all this stuff happening, yet you got a stock market again, looking at this market here again, let's just go back a little bit. You got a stock market that seems like it just doesn't care, right? Meaning all that money that the feds are pumping into the markets is indicative of we're in the all clear, right? We're in the all clear. Companies gonna be able to turn a profit, right? Next quarter, right? These companies are not affected right now, basically. Just to put it in layman terms, some of you guys are still learning this and understanding, what this is all about. They're pretty much telling you verbatim in a lot of ways that it's okay. Apple is fine. Boeing is fine. Royal Caribbean is fine. Caterpillar, Home Depot, Walmart, Target, whatever your favorite company is, they're fine right now. So it's okay to come into the market and buy. Right? And we're just really starting to get some true intel in terms of these numbers that are coming out about this coronavirus and people who have been affected, and also those unfortunately who have passed away. That's not in this market is not trading indicative to what that would look like in any other aspect of the normalcy, quote unquote, the normalcy of what a market would be doing in this moment. It would not be trading like this here. It would, if anything, it'll be sideways, and some little chop action. Them trying to just kind of contain it from necessarily plummeting, but also, obviously you wouldn't have all this irrational exuberance where people just saying, okay, I'm gonna just buy a hand over fist, because whatever. The Federal Reserve seems to act like, again, we're in all clear. And so we call this here, pump fake, head fake, bull trap, if you want to call it that, them again trying to overtake some certain key level, resistance points to try to establish a new support to launch the market higher, as if again none of this stuff is matter, because as long as they have a mouthpiece in that of Donald Trump, Larry Kudlow, again these big market participators, and those I call them market participators because they're supposed to be out there trying to take care of the country. They're too busy worried about the stocks. They worry about stocks. They're worried about stocks. And yes, I'm an investor. I'm a trader. Yeah, I get the benefit off this stuff. If you want to look at that from that perspective, but has no bearing on me not necessarily being able to come out and still, speak from a place of control, right? Based upon data and based upon what I have definitely been able to interpret, right? Hearing all these different talking points that are coming out, from Wall Street, hearing the talking points coming out of the White House, this, that, the third, again, trying to give people this false sense of, security, because that's what you actually are buying when you buy a stock. You buy a security note or a equity stake in a particular company. All right, you get your little prospectus and you say, hey, I bought a little piece of gold in this company, right? A little sliver of it, right? Because I know that they're going to go out and find more gold, basically put in the layman terms. So if you're taking that kind of approach, knowing that where we just came from, meaning the all-time highs was around $339 on the S&P 500, right? And the idea that we was already dealing with a trade war with tariffs, and at the point we was already dealing with accommodative Fed that was just lowering rates, again releasing all the bullets out of the gun early at a point where we necessarily didn't have to release all that ammo until dropping rates so low, and the fact that again we've already had a couple of the Treasury yields go into negative territory. The 1 month and the 3 month is already hitting negative status, right? They're volleying in and out of it. The 30-year bond note is volleying up and down a lot lately. The 10-year, the 20-year, all these things are starting to really again be, again showing signs of weakness, right? And that's because you had a whole lot of debt fueling and funding equity markets for an entire year of 2019, right? pretty much, let me put it in even more layman terms. All of 2019 was just credit card spending to a degree. Majority of the money that went into the economy from the consumer was credit card spending, not straight cash, right? Not cash, but credit card spending. And you say, well, what is that? Okay, so we're a debt-based society, right? That credit goes into what? As it gets accounted into what? Towards the treasury market to let banks and people know exactly where we are, right? Financially, it turns out debt to equity ratio when we think about the overall GDP of the country, right? Again, you got to be able to turn a profit to be a successful company, right? When I say company, bills, in this case, a corporation, right? America, right? So corporation is a business, right? Don't get it twisted. It's a business, right? So if it's set in terms of it's going to operate under that same mandate, again, you have a supplier and you have a demand, right? Which is the consumer, right? Now, typically, they always say the customer is always right, right? We've heard that saying, right? The customer is who? You, the taxpayer, the consumer, right? Your dollars matter. Well, quote unquote, supposedly, right? However, you're seeing that they flip that narrative and they're saying the corporations matter. The supplier matters, right? Because technically, in a real world, when you're dealing with debt equity, you can't have both. You can't have, that reality where you can go all in for the corporation and then go all in for the consumer, right? Is this some kind of zero-sum kind of reality when capitalism doesn't even equate to that kind of understanding or that mathematical equation, right? It's those who have more money and those who have less money. And those who have more money are positioned to do, again, coordinate and direct markets and assets in the way they need to go based upon their dollars fueling it. Even if they don't, these companies or these, other little assets don't deserve it, they have the ultimate power to do that. But again, what I'm saying, I guess, in all that, it breeds a false sense of security and a false sense of understanding what the data really says. You're ballooning debt that's guised as we're doing great as an overall economy. And that's what becomes problematic when we reckon that back to what we're dealing with this coronavirus, right? And people say, okay, we got all this unlimited cash all of a sudden. We got all this exposure to all this free liquidity that the banks are obviously now are going to be kind of, circling the wagons of the American people, giving out loans when before they already kind of redlining people, but now letting people from getting loans. Again, looking at those who they want to look at and turn the blind eye to others, right? So they're getting all this free power to make these loans, right? They're going to be sitting on all this federal government money, right? And now you got to hope that they are not moving slow on your behalf to fund your business. Obviously, if you're going through it, especially if you're a small business, right? You're already 2-3 weeks behind on payroll. You're trying not to let go of your employees, right? Because again, reflective to that is that the more people who's going to go to the unemployment line, and those jobless numbers are going to go up. We saw what it was last week, right? 3.2 million jobless claims were filed last week alone. Now I'm gonna ask y'all this question here, right? My beautiful, beautiful family that's watching and paying attention to you, brother African Emporium going live right now. Do y'all think the numbers for this upcoming scenario, the next jobless claim report, is going to be less, equal than, or greater than what the ones last week? I'm curious to know. So if we've already started that, to look into that window, whether or not we're going to have less jobless claims, more jobless claims, right? Or equal to that, what we had, the previous scenario. I'm curious to know, because that's a true reflection of the so-called quote unquote true economy, which is the consumer, right? So if you're getting, looking for job, for pretty much unemployment, you won't have luxury money to blow. Your credit card ain't finna be used for jet skis and and all kind of sorts of stuff, right? Yeah, 100% right, brother Raul. 100% right, over David. 100% right. Right. That ain't far fetched to be able to surmise that we finna deal with an influx of people who's gonna be running to get their unemployment. Not that they have a choice, because They have no employment right now. They have no employment. So what are you expecting them to do? Right? Again, wait for a Trump check that ain't worth about a hill of beans. Again, we talk trash about it, but I'm saying get that money. But y'all know $1,200 ain't nothing. $1,200 ain't nothing. That's an insurance on maybe your automobiles and maybe a couple other little bills. That ain't no serious money to be sitting there, jumping up doing, flips, back flips, and throwing coronavirus parties with. Right? That ain't no, and that's a one-time pay. They ain't say, okay, we're gonna run it consecutively. Every 2 weeks, okay, we'll drop $1,200 on everybody, and also you can take advantage of what? Because guess what? They got it. They got it to do it if they really wanted to do it. Know why? Because I look at the stock market, I look at the equity markets, I look at the Federal Reserve of New York, I look at the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, I look at these people, meaning the Federal Reserve, that's dumping all this money into the markets and not Main Street pockets to give y'all sense of security. That tells me, number one, that they got it to give to the actual person itself. Where, again, a lot of the money that y'all need right now, again, y'all like, well, man, you just being, hyperbolic about this thing, just making it seem like it's just, the stock market. This is y'all money right here. This is y'all money right here, right? This is y'all money for right here, right? That's y'all money right here, all the way back up here. This is y'all money down here, all the way up here. And from a notional value, for some of you guys to understand how markets work, from basically 220 to 260, that's 40 points to S&P 500 and put up in about a week. Which is, again, in a scenario where we're dealing with a global pandemic, a nationwide, state of emergency, right? Nationwide emergency, so to speak. With this virus, the numbers are upticking; they're not decreasing. And so, again, all this right here is liquidity that's coming in through institutions, obviously mandated by the Federal Reserve. Obviously, some of this, majority of this, is outright. They're spending money into the equity markets and buying certain assets like mutual fund, pension fund, the ETFs, things of that nature, right? The bonds, obviously, they buying the treasury bonds up, right? Outright, 30-year. They buying municipal bonds up. Y'all know what municipal bonds are. Matter of fact, I don't know if matter of fact, I don't know if he's still in there. One of my best friends in the building, Marvin Hewlett. Y'all might see that guy right there, right? He deals with, tax returns. He deals with understanding, municipality things of that nature. So again, a lot of these they call them muni bonds, right? Municipality bond. Well, what that means to you when you hear a municipality bond? What is municipality? Right? Dealing with court scenarios, right? So all these bonds and all this, they bind them up to collateral. So you got these people who out there seething like parasites to just buy up any kind of debt that they can, because they know people are going to default. Because the game is rigged to set up that you're supposed to default. It's not set up that you're supposed to have a surplus. It's set up for you to default. Right? And unfortunately, again, people, like, man, but they, it shouldn't be so much of a doomsday reality. But hey, but again, I say this to you guys then. If it's set up in that perspective, where you got people who are from the different mindset of understanding how governance work, right? Republican, you got the Republican, Democrats, right? Conservatives, and liberals, right? So just the very nature of those two ideologies, right? And what they stand for, right? In relation to what we're having to deal with right now because of the coronavirus, right? Which is 100% outright socialism, right? If you're gonna just say, okay, if I'm just gonna start doing something for corporations out the gate, then I better start doing something for the American people. Guess what? You got yours after everybody started to get theirs. You came into the conversation after the fact when you started raising Cain about, what y'all gonna do for the American people. Main Street. Wall Street was already, hand out, both hands out already into the equation. And they were strategizing for Wall Street before they started strategizing for you. Let that marinate for a moment. And case in point, we know that by looking at, again, the Federal Reserve, right? We know that by going strictly over, to some of you guys, if you had this site, we talked about it, a lot on this set, on this live stream, on this broadcast, right? My little channel, whatever. We talk about it a lot. And that is what? Right? Who's printing the money? These people. These people right here. right? These people right here, right? These are the ones who are, again, utilizing the value of pulling all this fake money out of nowhere, dumping it into to equity markets, right? To keep assets inflated, right? To prop up again, hedge funds, fund managers, this, that, the third, and keeping those guys employed. for lack of better terminology, because again, as if they need help. A few extra clients coming in there as if they need help. So today, what you're looking at right here, guys, if y'all can see my screen here, let me blow this up a little bit, right? If y'all can see my screen, right? This is today's reverse repo operations at a fixed rate value coming out of New York, pretty much the Federal Reserve in New York. Also backed by that of the St. Louis Federal Reserve. These are people who deal lots, largely with, treasury operations, again, equity-based mortgage operations, and things of that nature. Assets to that level, right? Of a part of this Federal Reserve, arm of the government, so to speak, or of the nation, so to speak. So today, y'all see this number down here, right? You see right there says collateral type. You see right there says treasury. That's how much money they dumped into the markets today. And that's not all of it. That's just a portion that went into the treasury allocation under this fixed rate repo operations tranche of money into the markets. And see right here where it says operation close time, right? That means that's when they fulfill that entire mandate of tranche of money for this particular collateral, a treasury asset. Because treasury obviously is the bond market, pension fund, things of that nature, right? We can go into that a little later. But they have 44 participating counterparties. All of them got accepted. That's how much money went into the repo market, or pretty much to the stock market today. $237 billion right here. 237 billion, 497 million, blah 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 blah. Basically over a quarter, basically about $250 billion. Let me just put it like that. Over a quarter, obviously, of near that of $1 trillion. And again, people like, well, okay, yeah, man, you got to save the market, and you don't have people always gonna come back and say stuff like that, right? It's again, a lot of people by default they always vote against their own interests because they want to feel like they're doing something greater than themselves, but they're not understanding how survival works, right? They're not understanding how self-preservation really works, right? Self-preservation, preserve thyself, right? That so-called quote-unquote side of yourself that says, okay, let me make sure I'm protected because I'm not worried about a company like Apple right now or Boeing or any of these companies that got billions and billions of dollars and got borrowing power, right? Have debt to equity ratio leverages where they can go and borrow more money than necessary if they got good credit rating. Obviously, we know Boeing obviously getting close to getting their junk status. That's another conversation. But they got ability to raise capital. Where do you have the ability to raise capital? I'll wait. Where's your lending agencies that can give you the level of capital that you need? Again, right away, we're not talking about going through a process of waiting and stopping and pinging and postulating and filibustering and holding your process up, which a lot of these companies do for a reason, right? Stalling people out. But Wall Street don't have that issue. That money goes right through, digitally, right on through. So that's a $237 billion tranche of money that went into the market today. Again, and that's just that particular operation. Then you got the Treasury, HCs, the total mortgage-backed lending. They buying those up too, right? They buying everything up. That's the multiple price repo operation there. The auction came through today. Here's how you check go to the CME, right, or the CBO, right? Obviously, Chicago Board Option Exchange, right? Chicago Mercantile Exchange, right? It's in Chicago that deals with option trading. Option trading obviously more. Also, another aspect of the bond market derivatives when they auction it off these different bonds at certain prices, and greedy people come in who are pretty much just come in and buy people debt, or buy the 30-year, the 2-year, or the 1-month note, or the 3-month note. So they buy debt. Big money run to do that as a hedge against equity markets, like stocks outright. And now you got the Feds doing it. The Feds just came right out because again, if the bond market ever collapsed, there goes your economy. Let me repeat that. If the bond market ever collapsed, there goes your economy, because that's a lot of what? Allocated, pent up partitioned out debt that the government or the country owes to a degree through your house notes, your card note, your credit card, your student loans, you name it. If that goes under, so does your economy. Right? But not only are they buying those up left and right, they also buying equity stocks outright too. So they're doing both. Now, typically, you got to let things balance themselves out. That's what you normally would do in a market, a global or free market. They have to balance themselves out, meaning companies got to do right by their shareholders. They got to run a tight ship business, be fiduciary responsible, and do what's right by that. And if you fail, you fail. You go under. That's why they call it bankrupt. You don't get a bailout. If you go under, you don't get a bailout. They don't come bail you out. You know what I'm saying? They do not come bail you out. So you finna tell me a $1,200 check is a bailout? Okay, yeah, they put a moratorium on your light bill, on your energy bill, on your, some of those things. Again, I still ask you a question though. Is that a bailout for you in terms of your lifestyle and your livelihood? Right? And I'm not coming from a place of this ain't no just anti-government. I'm speaking, reality to the common person who doesn't necessarily understand how equity markets work in relation to where all this money is coming from out of thin air. Because I know y'all have asked that same question. Where is all this money coming from? All of a sudden, where all this money coming from when you was hearing we're tight on this, the government has to cut back on this, we don't have money for this, we don't have money for that. Now you have an unlimited socialism umbrella of cascading cash that's falling out of the sky like it's just some out of Candyland board game. All of a sudden, trillions of dollars is just falling out of the sky, right? The whole saying, if money, could rain down like rain or fall from a tree leaf, well, basically that's what's happening. But again, that money ain't falling on you now. It ain't falling on you. It's brushing up against you, but it ain't falling on you. It ain't falling in your lap. It ain't falling in your pocket. It's brushing up against you on the way to another destination. Right? It's on the way to another destination. Right? It's called Wall Street. Right? It's called Chicago, Board of Option Exchange and CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. It's headed to those institutions, and then from there, obviously, it's going to get branched out to all the bigger main institution banks, your J.P. Morgan, your Goldman Sachs. Y'all can go from there, and then from there, it spiders down slightly down to some of these more top tier lending agencies that deal with mortgages and cars and all that. So I'm saying it's again, y'all that trickle down economics. Okay, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Right? Again, S&P 500 up near 700 points right now. After knowing what we heard over the weekend in terms of that press release, that's the one we had yesterday. All of a sudden now, Wall Street is super bullish on the economy. Seriously? And we finna go into a negative growth next quarter when they drop those earnings numbers, literally about a few weeks away. They finna drop earnings, that's finna be, like forget about it. Lights out. Negative, no growth, negative, no growth. Because as long as these companies stay shut down, they are also racking up debt. But if they was running a good company like they're supposed to, when they're making millions upon billions and billions of dollars, they're supposed to be what? Putting money away for a rainy day for moments just like this. They expect you to do it. But since the company can't just dare losing, money, 100 million here, $1 billion plus here, right? When they've been having it to put money away for rainy day, but they've been buying shares back, doing share buybacks, right? Pension fund, debt, executive bonuses, lavish dividends, but not necessarily planning their business in a way where they can weather an economic downturn, which is obviously by mandate of how capitalism works. Meaning, if you fail to meet the mandate of running your business in the way you're supposed to, you are supposed to go into bankruptcy. Not maybe, but supposed to go into bankruptcy. But yet still, they finna bail out everybody. I'm talking about they finna go bail out even homeless dogs and cats right now if they can. Ain't nobody getting, Everybody can get a socialism bailout. But your socialism bailout is not at the level that you need. Nowhere near what you need. But it's to get you pumped up about the idea that, man, this is something, because you're not used to the government really doing nothing for you. I get it. Most of us understand that. You ain't used to them doing nothing for you. Yet they use your money to do it for other people. Let that marinate for a moment. You ain't used to it, but everybody else that's on the corporate side, they're used to it. Corporate welfare. Everything in Wall Street is a corporate welfare queen. Everything over there. Y'all saw what happened in 2008. Subprime lending, crack, housing crack, all this stuff was corporate welfare. Overly leveraged assets, bubble type asset that was just greedy and obviously was taking advantage of Main Street like they always do, right? And then, come on, look it up with a little straight face trying to sound all, sympathetic and caring. And, we love our patrons and we love the consumers, and we try to give you the best product. And look here. They know they got golden parachutes. It's called the Federal Reserve. It's called the Federal Reserve. So again, I'm just saying all that to say, don't be misled, guys. Don't be out here, cheerleading for people who don't necessarily warrant it being cheerleaded for. Right? Meaning, again, as they say in the military, watch your 6, your 3, and your 9. Watch yourself, man. Watch your 3, 6. Don't let people, again, just, pump your head up as if, you're all, you're solid and you all, taken care of and in the clear and all that kind of stuff. When reality is that, again, they're finding money, again, out of thin air. They're finding money out of thin air, like they've been doing, all right, to grease the wheels of Wall Street, again, over the wheels of Main Street. It has always been that way, and unfortunately, it will always be that way. Because you produce nothing. When I say you, meaning this country does not produce items. It cannot lock down its borders and survive alone unless it's going to crank up a lot of old factories, which they've sold out and sent them things across the border to Mexico, up into Canada, outsourced to India, China, whatever, etc., etc. Stealing out of Africa, ain't paying them fair price. Again, it's the hustle of a lifetime. So you say, well, why are those conversation points are more relevant now? What's that all about? Man, let's talk about stock. Okay, well, again, it goes into the overall why you're seeing things like this happen. And people like smart people. Now, I'm not just saying smart economists are saying like, what is this? They're saying that. Like, what is this? Dude, you're in the middle of a pandemic. And these people are desperate to save a couple nickels. When I say a couple nickels for billionaires and millionaires over going all in for the ideal of what the American the citizen of the economy really needs. And most people have no clue about what this is, and they just going through this pretty much this sit down, to shut in and shut down, and like, man, when they gonna cut the chicken, man? Well, I'm burning through the little money I got right now. I'm trying to make ends meet, and then Wall Street's still fat right now. Wall Street's still fat right now. Again, this is businesses every day. So again, y'all know my mentality. I take the Robin Hood approach. It ain't no secret. I come in and steal and take what I can from these greedy parasites, right? And use that as a way to kind of empower us, meaning our reality, to get our people excited about opportunities outside of having to go work hard for it and play the game of building up the corporation, right? But the corporation ain't really doing that for you at the level that you probably deserve it, though. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, obviously, be able to do what you have to do. Y'all know what I mean when I'm saying that. However, you need other ways to get what you need out of it, too. Because the same way these people right here run up the market, they have no shame about it, right? They have no they're not, affected morally at all about doing this in a moment where people, are, we're dealing with this coronavirus scenario and there's a lot of uncertainty whether or not assets should be warranted to be at the prices that they are. Then I say to you, why are you not also understanding that you need other ways to make you a little extra money here too? By utilizing the same thing these greedy people and doing things like this here, and so you can get your portion of it too. Because you got to find a way to get yours out of the government one way or the other, right? That's the mentality, right? You got to find a way to get yours out of it too, right? Because if not, you're gonna be at the very, very back of the line. You're gonna be at the very, very back of the line when they go to doling out money. You're gonna be at the very, 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 very back. But everybody on the Democratic side, Republican side, are telling you what? Oh, the American people, ha 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 ha, the American people. We're gonna take care of our people. Here it is, 3 weeks into the game. Most of y'all probably already been shut down from your job, whatever, and you still waiting on, again, a Trump check of only $1,200 stinking dollars. Wall Street right there, they make so much money today. The money they made along with today is enough in terms of that. Again, I made a point by showing y'all the repo market operation at the New York, Federal Reserve pumping into the stock market today. Imagine if they dumped that $237 billion into y'all hands today. Because tomorrow they're gonna turn around and try to dump, if not equal or greater than, or maybe a little less than that same amount into the markets again tomorrow. These operations don't stop. These ain't no one-offs. They're gonna dump more money into the market again tomorrow. You best believe it. That was $237 billion. That was they ain't near $250 billion. Over $250 billion, excuse me, over $250 billion. and we got a supposedly, I say we, a $2.2 trillion spending package stimulus bill, and that was already about a quarter went into the stock market today. And that's not even counting everything that was going into it, ever since, about a month and a half ago. So I'm saying, y'all get the gist of what I'm saying without necessarily having to say it, but I will say it. Utilize the same aspect of these greedy people. When I say greedy people, we know these institutions. These are greedy institutions. Retail make up only a small percentage of this. They make a small percentage of this. Use these same greedy institutions the same way they're using you, because they are using you. Don't get misconstrued. They are using you, because you're gonna get stuck holding this bag when it's all said and done. You're gonna get stuck holding this bag, this coronavirus, debt bag. Taxpayers, as it has always been since time immemorial in this country, when they understood how to utilize capitalism as a strength to survive, to divide rich from middle class to poor. They finna do away with this middle class. They trying their best to do away with the middle class, and it's just gonna be just what? Rich and poor. Because again, these people up here, when I say these people, I mean these richer people here that can go into these assets and make this kind of money. They're not, concerned about, again, your little $1,200 Trump check. They're out on a bigger prize. All they need is liquidity, which is the volume, which is dollars coming in the market, propping it up, running it higher, so they can make a ton of money off that free money, literally free money that the feds are pumping into it. So you take the market, right? You take the market, right? Just putting it down again, bring it back to layman terms. Y'all know me, right? Market over at 930. SP 500 was around there, 252, 253, somewhere around there. After that, it catapulted up. If you at home right now, you got a little cash, little money put away. Obviously, you kind of know at least your bills take care of a little bit with the moratorium, all that stuff, but you ain't really struggling, right? You say, okay, well, I know the Fed's gonna pump the market today. They proved it last night in the futures market when the market was down there 500 some points. They brought it all the way back green and went up 300 points. So they were dumping money into the repo market last night, doing when most of y'all probably sleep. The Feds were working. The Federal Reserve was up working last night when most of y'all was asleep, dumping money into the markets, the futures market, to prop it up for the day traders to coming in through intraday, and also the fund managers and banks and all of them to come in and take advantage of that liquidity. And you had, look at all this abnormal volume here, because some of you guys may not understand what that is, but all that right there, that abnormal volume is how it picked up on the back end of the day. It got bigger. Those green blocks got bigger. That's all the buying. And ramped it up higher again because they had a mandate to get the market over 260, which is a psychological victory. So you could have just say, okay, well, I got $252. I put in the market today. I know greedy people are gonna come in. These big banks, they don't care. You could have bought the SP 500 at 253, 254, even at the VWAP there, right? You could have bought it there, right? And waited it out to the degree where it began to take off throughout the day. I'm sorry, let me mute you mic for 2 seconds. Right. Now, you could have waited it out for a couple seconds to see how the markets were going to turn around. And then after you saw the volume coming in and you didn't see any agree to selling, and then you saw the 20-day move that, which is blue line gets respected, then it held and kept and just stayed in the market all day long. Because from those who us that know how this stuff works, you knew that they was going to pump the market today. It was no fact. I was saying it last night to the grass. Man, they're going to try to pump the market if they can. Now, technically, it's supposed to roll over. But if they can get ahead of this market, try to pump it, they're going to try to do it. Because there's no limit or shame to Wall Street in terms of their greed. Y'all saw it with all the institutions that went under the last big market crash. These people can care less. They don't trade and invest with morals. Right? They can care less. Right? They're not concerned with, okay, let's sit on the sideline and allocate our resources towards something that's a little bit more tangibly beneficial to the American people. They're not thinking like that. So I will ask you guys in the same breath, why not utilize those moments in the same breath? Right? Because I guarantee you, right? Anybody I know that's on this side of the pond, meaning the traders and investors like myself, if they get that $1,200 check, what do you think they're gonna do with it? Think they're gonna go to the local Popeyes and buy some chicken, right? Or a little $5 little foot long at the Subway, right? They're gonna put that money into the stock market. They're gonna turn that. They're gonna flip that money. The same way the Fed's pumping all this free money into the stock market to help fund managers and all those who understand how this works. Because all this money that was made today will make your head spin when you start looking at some of the P&Ls of people that made money today that took advantage of, while most people again sat home and was like, they got their little calculators out trying to budget their money out. They're trying to like, man, how I'm gonna stretch this? How I'm gonna make this work? Right? I can't go to work. Right? How I'm gonna make this work for me? Guess what? Big bags were collected today. Big bags were collected today. Big bags. Again, you could be a person who's a layman at understanding investing and trading. Somebody just say, hey, over the rates account, you can fund it, put your little 200 and $60 in there, 300, whatever. You can just buy the S&P 500 today. If you bought it again, 253, 254, you still cashed out up here around 261, 262 going into the close. As you can see, it closed up near 262, somewhere near that. It hit a high, about 262. So just off the top of that alone, again, just basic though, basic stuff. What I'm saying here, basic stuff. You picked up, again, $8 off one share of the S&P 500. Now, again, that's a high dollar ticket. Now there are other stocks that are a heck of a lot cheaper, where that $300 could have easily turned into 100%, 192% today, 70% today. 60% today, right? And you say, okay, well, what do you mean? But what do you mean by that, right? Well, there are other assets out there, obviously, of the more, cheaper persuasion, if you catch my drift. That ain't the price yet. But all you need to know that the S&P 500, which is the main indicator, sentiment indicator of what the overall market is doing, as long as it was ramping to the upside, a lot of other stocks and companies were ramping along up with it. Right? A lot of other stuff were ramping on up along with it. Right? Case in point. Right? Real quick, I'm going to run over here. Right? Really quick here. Let me show you this here. Show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is why you want to also learn how to be a Robin Hood too. Right? Take from these greedy rich folk, if you want to call it that, and also supply and build yourself up in a way where you can benefit too. Look over here. Look on my screen here, guys. Right? Matter of fact, let me see if I can. Well, yeah, can y'all see my screen pretty decently? Without me having to go in there and toggle it and make it probably.
Yeah, you good, over.
Y'all can see? Okay. All right. So real quick. Here's a couple of penny stocks. Not saying you just go out and buy penny stock. I'm just using this is strictly a case study example and case study only. This company Ecor, right? This company right here that's on my screen right here, right? Today it picked up over 177% into the close. Actually, it went up higher than that. It was up at a high, roughly about $1.84. It closed down about 109. So it basically went up over near 300%, close to 300% today. Let's say 250. It went up over 250% today. Meaning from its beginning, which was roughly about 50 cents, 49 cents a share, meaning 50 cents for one share of this company. It took off. And keep in mind, this happened during the intraday session. So this ain't no, all this was just popping during the app, during the pre-market session. This is all intraday. Around the low is around 42 cents. Now, if you had $300, let's say again we use the 250 rule, right? Because we say one share of the SP 500 will open up day. So if you had $250 today, right? And you want to buy shares of eCore because it popped up on the scanner, it was running a little early in the day. It has something to do with the coronavirus, because that's exactly why it's running. Anything that has to do with coronavirus news, it's catching the bid right now. When we say that in Wall Street terms, that means people are starting to look into buying it. Right? We gonna put the news and see what eCore all about, whatever the case on your own time. We can go through there. But just case in point, let's get to the meat of the matter here. How many shares can you get of a 42-cent stock from 250? Anybody can do that math for me in the back chat real quick? Or somebody on the panel, right? You got $250. One share costs you 42 cents a share. How many shares can you get from 250 or out of 250? Anybody throw that number in the back chat if you got it, right? Do a quick little case study and we're going to keep it pushing.
595 shares.
You get 595 shares from 250 out of 42-cent stock, right? At its peak again, we know it went up and hit like 184, right? And that was actually around about, let's say that was roughly about 12:52. So basically near 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, yeah, it hit its peak or it hit its zenith on the intraday session, right? Again, it wasn't hard to see why it did that too, because y'all know my, the thesis of what we train for as investors or trader. Anytime a stock pulls further away from its moving average, right? Typically, chances are at that point it's going to reverse or it's going to get too fatigued up there, and that's when people are going to start taking profit. And instantly, what you see right here is the major separation from the trending moving average line here to the top of that stock. So that was starting to be a very clear indication that, okay, this stock obviously after watching it ramp up from way down here, again, just staying in the trade because, again, you saw volume coming in, which obviously down here is another indication that traders were starting to buy this stock up, right? And the price started reflecting that by going higher and higher. Again, this is a 50-cent stock now, 50 cents. And it went up and peaked again around about 184. So roughly, again, we just use it from the case of understanding at that peak, right? Peak performance, right? So $1.84, right? So you do $1.84 minus what? 42 cents, right? That's when it was trading at around 42 cents. Say you got in at 42 cents, 40, because you had ample time to get in around that price, right? So how much is that? Mm-hmm. What's $1.84 minus 42? Anybody in the back chat or on the counter today? How much is that?
$1.42. $1.42.
$1.42. And how many shares you would have got if you bought $250 worth at 42 cents?
Oh, at $1.42.
What was that share count again?
Oh, 595.
So you got 595 times what? $1 what? 42 per share that you earned in that moment of just watching the market go up from 9:30 to basically 1 o'clock. It hit its peak up there, right? So how much is that in terms of notion of value?
78.10.
Say that in terms of what they really want to hear over, Chris. How much? $700 and how much?
And 10 cents.
So you make $700.10, right? That was the number, right? 770.
780.
Excuse me. Okay, 780. You make $780.10 in a matter of what? 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, about 3 hours and 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you double your money, basically you tripled it. They ain't there tripled it. Let that marinate for a moment. Let that marinate for a moment. Now you ask yourself, do you think Wall Street care? Right? Do you think Wall Street care about what you're going through right now? When they got stocks that are trading at pennies on the dollar, pennies on the dollar, right? Right? And seeing them break out because they have a well-founded catalyst. What is that catalyst? This coronavirus, right? Stocks that are dealing with the coronavirus, treatment, prevention, whatever, i.e. products, vaccines, whatever. These companies are very well looked at now because you have state officials, federal officials, the president, everybody, even other international entities coming in trying to buy these companies or buy into their companies to take advantage of their products that they're offering, their services that they have to offer to kind of help stem this coronavirus outbreak. So they're becoming best in breed, first choice mandated particular companies. And some of them were pretty much just nobody names before this coronavirus hit. Hence, that's why they're trading at 42 cents a share. So you turned that 250 into 780 in about 3 hours and 20 minutes. Now you got to start really assessing in terms of how you value and view your resources, your money, your ability to take care of yourself. Again, self-preservation, survival mode, because we're somewhat, quote unquote, in a survival mode scenario, right? No matter how much you look at it from the extent of it in terms of extremities, right? Because everybody look at things different, right? That also is dependent upon your bank account, right? But y'all know, again, like I know a lot of people out there right now are really, really feeling the blunt of this coronavirus scenario, the shutdown. I mean, this thing has disrupted their entire livelihood, and yet they're still waiting on some kind of intervention. I.e., the government gets ahead of this thing, curves the curve of this coronavirus, put it to a degree where they can kind of get it under control to at some point reopen the government, the economy, which is going to take a minute, which we know that now. Or they got to kind of also sit around and wait for the government to kind of come in and do its job and take care of them until they can be able to take care of themselves again. And what you need coming a heck of a lot slower than, again, what Wall Street's getting right now. Am I lying? Am I making it up?
Oh, you telling the truth.
I mean, I'm curious. How many of y'all received y'all Trump check already? You know you needed it yesterday, right? You needed that Trump check yesterday. How many of y'all received that Trump check already? I'm curious.
My Trump check is the stock market, baby.
You better say that over, Chris. Right? You're not going to be dependent upon somebody to, blow smoke, around you and tell you that, again, it's baby powder. Everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They need you to stay calm and not necessarily run and beat down them gates. And sit you on the Pennsylvania and say, hey, man, you need to cut that check and cut it fast. I don't need to be waiting 2 or 3 weeks. Y'all don't take 2 or 3 weeks when y'all go to collect it from me. Am I lying? When the IRS come after you, do they take 2 or 3 weeks to collect from you?
No.
When they go to garnish your check, do they need 2 or 3 weeks to garnish that check from you?
Hold on.
When the lending agent comes after you, do they take 2 or 3 weeks to come get that bag? After they sent the notice out, knowing they got enough, what they call municipal backing, that they filed the national paperwork to say, I can collect at this point. They collecting it after they give you that last warning. You checking that bank account every day, but well, let me try to move these funds around, bro. Not today. You're gonna withdraw cash and look, bro. Not today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, in this moment, again, for us, this is why you need think tanks. You need people who you can discuss reality with. Not necessarily just, again, you can do all the other stuff on your free time too, but when it comes to financial literacy, right? The resource, quarter of life in this country as a capitalist society. Again, the what they call the rule of law is what? Get money and lots of it, much as you can. Hoard it. That's what they're doing. I'm just speaking strictly how they think about capitalism. Hoard it. So in the event something like this ever comes along, guess what? You straight. People who have no clue about this, they're working hard. They're doing what they can. They got families to feed. They got children to feed. They're doing what they can. They have no one to really show them that reality in terms of how to really maximize even a little bit of change they may have sitting around in their couch cushion. Because again, I guarantee you, most of y'all that's listening in right now, if you go turn over your couch right now, You go open up your little couch, right? Your little favorite little couch, that little comfortable spot that the spring a little loose. You like to get down that crevice, right? But you sink too low into it, it take all the change out your pocket too. Yeah, that little klepto couch you got, I call them klepto couches, right? A lot of them when I was in college, they'll joke a little couch. You go over somebody's house, and they got the klepto couches, like they just specifically engineered their couches to rob your pockets of change, right? They struggling for Roman.
Yeah.
Klepto couch in college. Right, you get up out of there, all you in the corner of that crevice of that couch. You can get up. They didn't rob everybody throughout the entire day, and went to Chick-fil-A for lunch. But again, I just showed you got stocks that are trading at, you got stocks that are trading at 42 cents a share. That caught a bid today again based on this coronavirus catalyst, which is a fundamental trigger point to say, hey, this company is important all of a sudden now because it has what the world needs in terms of being able to fight this virus. Smart people are not going to argue with the idea of whether or not the company, was this before all this happened, and they might have been this. People ain't sitting there making that decision. They're saying, okay, what the share price is, what the strength of the support, where most people are buying in at the point where they kind of held it up at a good little point. Okay, it's buying it 42 cents, 45 cents. Okay, I'll take a small position here. A small position of big money is like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 shares. If not, obviously more. Obviously a lot more. But I'm just using this for a case study perspective, right? So you get 10,000 shares at 42 cents, right? Because I know people that bought them shares up like that today. Again, I ain't just making this stuff up. Y'all know I am. I go pull them receipts out quickly, right? And I can show you through the volume alone, let you know people buying them swaps like that. Just looking at level 2, right? So people that bought 10,000 shares of 42 cent stock, how much that cost them? If they bought 10,000 shares at 42 cents a share, how much did that cost? Anybody in the back chat? What's the math on that? Y'all know like deal with numbers over here. Like make you feel uncomfortable about math.
Say it again.
You bought 10,000 shares of that stock Ecor at 42 cents a share. How much did that cost? That trade cost? Or how much did those shares cost? 10,000 shares of 42 cent stock. I know I talk fast, log in. That's my mind I'm a multitasker. Right? How much did that trade cost? It's all you know.
4,200.
4,200 bucks, right?
Right.
4,200 bucks gives you 10,000 shares of a penny stock that obviously ran up over 200, 300% today. So again, we're gonna do that same math, right? So we know that $1.84, right, minus 42, right? That's where it was. It started from. You bought in. I know people bought in at that point. I ain't just talking, right? So that means they profited how much per share? $1 what? $1.40 something. Like I think you did the math on that over, Chris. $1.42.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's 10,000 shares times what? $1.40 times $1.42. Right.
Yep.
How much is that in profit?
$14,200.
Let me put that in the back chat.
Yes, sir.
And that was every bit about what? 3 hours. From 9:30 to 1 o'clock, yeah, hit that peak of $1.84 before the asset kind of rolled over a little bit, and then obviously lost gas and kind of trailed out to about like $1.02 somewhere around there, and still closed up over 100 and about over 100% today. It's still up higher than where it started.
You'll never find returns like this nowhere else.
And if you can, please point me in that direction.
Right.
Please do, because that's what we should be doing anyway. This ain't the time to be hoarding opportunity. If you got a way to get to the bag, and it's the least path of resistance. When I say least path of resistance, I'm talking about, that doesn't require people to jump through hula hoops. They ain't got to worry about their credit being run, and even that's not a big issue. But people ain't sitting there worrying about your background and how much job experience you got, and what's your skill set like. Right? If you can go through all those things and you can get to that least path of resistance to get you to the opportunity to get to the bag, because I guarantee you, those people that came into the market today had no clue about this stuff last week. They said, now I got to start learning this stuff. Know why? Because the market shut. When I say the market, meaning the overall corporate sector in terms of jobs, that stuff shut down. We can't work. So guess what? I need to find ways to get to this bag. And they came
That's
in
right.
last week, got their accounts funded, got into some of the little Discord trading groups like the ones we be in and out of all the time. Start listening, start picking up some basic preliminary knowledge, right? And then guess what? They say, hey, I saw this stock. People talking about it this morning. You think it's gonna be a good one? Because that's typically how that conversation go. What's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on this stock? You like, okay, well, it got a number volume. Okay, let's see if in the news I own it. Okay, then they're doing something for coronavirus. Okay, this might be a runner today. Well, I got $1,000 to put on it. I got $500 to put on it. I'm thinking this might be a good entry. I'm not sure. I'm still learning. What's your take on that? That's the question they ask. Again, you ain't giving them financial advice because you can't get them about financial advice. We're not accredited brokers. So by disclaimer, you guys know my disclaimer down in my description box. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm only sharing my opinion only, based upon my research and what I've done as a trader in these financial markets or investor. Right. So knowing that person takes that initiative and say, okay, you're right. I'm seeing this a good collection of people getting in here at this 42-cent level or the 45-cent level. I'm in. He understands some basic stuff. I can set a stop loss on my money, so I don't worry about losing it. If the stock goes against me, okay, I set my stop loss down about 10 cents from where I entered, right? Or I set my stop loss by 8 cents from where I entered at, right? So obviously that gives me a mandate where I can potentially lose by 8 cents a share, depending on how many shares I can buy out of $500, right? You define your risk so you know what you're dealing with, but you understand you have a strong catalyst in a stock that has something that's very favorable that other people might be looking into. They have something that's going to help this coronavirus.
Right. What's the name of that stock again, Oba?
Ecor. I'm sorry, Ecor. Ecor.
Okay.
Right. So I'm saying I'm breaking it down in this perspective to let y'all know in layman terms, because some of y'all are super smart and super educated, right? But when it comes to this kind of stuff, you just have what they call writer's block. You're like, man, what's all these, man? These numbers and script. This ain't nothing that you can't learn. This ain't out of your wheelhouse. You already perform a value of investing in anyway as a consumer. When you compare and contrasting prices, you compare and contrasting items. That's basically what you're doing. You're doing what they call a fundamental analysis. That's basically what this is. You do it as a consumer side. You buy a marked up margin price item that probably cost the company peanuts on dollar to make. And so you're buying at the highest peak though. Right? And so by process that company takes all that extra in profit margin and do what with it? Take care of all of this business, its bill, and then that rest goes into what? Into their pocket. Now, just what if? Now this is just what they call, this is just a theory, but we know what this theory is all about. It's based in facts. What if you decide to wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm gonna actually invest in this company. These jokers have got a lot of money out of me over the past 5-10 years. Let me see if this company publicly traded. Let me see how well they're doing. And if they ain't doing well, let me see who's the best in breed, meaning the best in that sector or that particular business entity in itself that's out there that's publicly traded, that I might can invest in. By process, you're still doing the same thing, whether it's that company or the next one that's better than them. You're searching for alpha, searching for yield in the financial markets in a way to get some of the money back that they have taken from you. Does that make sense? Is that not what they're doing? The government actually doing the same thing right now. They're backdoor dealing through the equity markets. They're doing the same exact thing actually right now. Again, but before the coronavirus, we ain't got it. Already, y'all know how they come in. We ain't got it. We ain't got no money, man. We ain't got money for this. We ain't got money for that. Man, we ain't got money for those schools and fix the water in Flint. We ain't got money to fix them raggedy roads, up there in the Rust Belt and, and whatever. We ain't got enough money to, for this and that and this, that, and the third. We ain't got money for that. Yet the Wall Street ain't having that. They ain't having that conversation. Or when they are having it, they're having it under the mindset that what? We don't have enough. We don't have enough. Man, I ain't satisfied with this $1 million today. That's how they think and how they talk. I'm not satisfied with this $2 million today. It should have been 6. Let that marinate for a moment. And here we are just talking about this one little stock, Ecor, right? This one little stock right here, Ecor, that ran up over 200% today. That started at around about 42 cents and hit a high around about $1.84. And every bit about 3 hours in the market during a time when some of y'all were up cooking grits and tending to your kids. You got kids.
It hit
frying.
It hit 240 over $2.40.
Well, at the very peak, right? To my Ecor, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's going to show you the block of the candle. It might have had that wick. You know how them wicks are. It ain't probably pick it up.
Right.
Right. On the regular, it's going to pick up. But just like he's saying, it's probably going to pick up, that extra, because that's not even count. That's why I didn't even say it. But you own it over, Chris. But just going off the block of the candle, just showing everybody that was watching, you see right there around about that 185, 184. Even if that peak alone, if you got in there and got out around that point, again, you already up, $780.10. Or if you put in got 10,000 shares, right? Which would have cost you $4,200, right? Which would have obviously paid you out 14 racks in 3 hours. That's the part that instantly when you start doing the numbers, you say, okay, well, I might need to look into that. And nothing else, it hurts you not to look into that. Because again, some of y'all got couch money. Again, some of y'all got 42 cents sitting around the couch right now. And guess what? They don't charge you commissions to trade stocks. They remove most of all the commission at this point from pretty much all your mandated and foundated brokers out there. So you basically coming in with whatever you had to put in your account. If you got 42 cents in that thing, guess what? If your brokers don't have a threshold of how many shares you need to buy of a certain stock, especially penny stock, you come right on in and buy you one share. You bought one share at 42 cents. That thing went to what? $1.84. That means you made $1.42 in profit. Your 42 cent turned to $1.42. Right? And so that means you do $1.42 times 42 cents you got in with. How much is that? $1. Y'all, that's how much you walked away with. You come into the market the next day with what? $1 and what? 84 cents, right? And you start out with what? 42 cents. Now you got $1.84. You looking for another penny stock runner. Look at these penny stock runners. Look at this company right here, top. It went up over what? 100% today. SPCB ran up over 100% today. TMDI ran up over 88% today. 81%, 65, 56, 54. Y'all see it. I ain't just talking. This is data. Right? This ain't no speculative. It's speculative in terms of the asset buying, because you got to know what you're getting into, why you're buying it, where, when, and all that. But the idea that it did its numbers, them numbers ain't speculative. Them numbers are finite. As of now, at this particular point in time, they're finite to that value. Meaning that's how much profit or returns it generated today. Look here. Down you got companies like let me see find one company that some of y'all just might know, just off the top of your head. You might not be familiar with a lot of these companies. This company here, Cars. Y'all know Cars. Cars deal with cars.com. Y'all seen the commercial cars.com? Well, how much it put up today? It put up it closed out about 26% today. But guess what? At its peak, it hit like $5 a share, right? So we talking about well over about 30-something% possible. So this one here put up over 30% today. So that means if you had $100, right, and you bought $100 worth of cars.com, right, near the beginning of the market, or when it began to kind of peak and show some strength that it might pick up for whatever reason it ran today, you can go pull up, whether or not why it ran, right? We know the market was just pumping anyway because the S&P 500 was pumping. So that means all the other companies like Cars and a lot of others that trade in correlation to the sentiment of the S&P 500 by default makes them run too. And that's basically what Cars did. Granted, again, you put up over near 30% at the peak. So if you just had $100, what's 30% of $100? Anybody? Quick math. 30% of $100 is what?
What?
Anybody?
30 bucks. $33.
$30. Yeah, $30. Yeah, just quick little 30% of $100. So that means your little $100 that you had that you were saving, right? This again, y'all know I like these little movie analogies. I just watched that movie, I Am Legend. Will Smith, he was saving that bacon, right? And that lady came in and fried up his bacon, right? I was saving that, right? You saving that $100, right? For when you really need it, because you're dealing with this old coronavirus, and you said, okay, I'm gonna come into the market again. This hypothetical in this case study. You bought Cars, right? That was the stock that you chose. At the peak, it ran up over near 30% again. So your 100 turned into what? 30. Your 100 turned into 30. Now you wake up tomorrow, you got 130 bucks. You got two options. Go back in the market with that same 100 bucks, take that 30, handle your business. Do what you need to do with that 30 bucks. You either run around or use some toilet paper. Right? Get some of that me so hungry fried rice at dirty little Chinese stop down the street. Not no disrespect too much. Whatever. So that's the mentality. Again, I'm painting a picture. Are you guys following me? You're trying to find value in moments where you're in a very abnormal time, right? With this coronavirus, all of us are dealing with it. But more importantly, you're trying to find other ways to still make money when everybody else is kind of sitting on their hands because they ain't got no choice. Because remember I told y'all, some of you guys already know again, because you always kind of hang out with your brother, tune in. But some of y'all know this regardless of me saying it or if I'm not saying it, right? The market ain't finna shut down. Let me repeat that. The market ain't about to shut down. Ain't happening. Ain't gonna happen. So again, who's making money right now while everybody else is right now not making money? Go. Who's still making money right now while everybody else is not in a position to make money? Go. Anybody in the back chat? What y'all think? Who's still getting to the bag while everybody else waiting on the Trump check?
I'm for sure, yeah.
Right? So you gotta stop and ask yourself, right? Before you kind of talk yourself out of an opportunity to learn how financial literacy really, really works in terms of learning how to put your resources to work for you and not you go and work hard for it. Until you really own that reality, you'll convince yourself that you're comfortable with waiting on somebody else to cut you a check. Or to a degree that you're going to work hard for it and feel like you earned your way. But yet still your money still ain't working for you. You see what I'm saying? It's getting liquidated in things that don't. So again, I'm going to make a point. So let's say a month and a half ago, right? And this ain't just putting the lens on anybody because you work hard, you do what you want to do. Before the coronavirus shutdown happened, that week prior, some of y'all probably got paid when you got your nice outfit, probably went out, had a good little time, right? You know how much that stuff typically costs, about a couple $100 or whatever, depends on how lavish you like to go out, right? Now you say, well, dang it, man, I need that money now. Right? We all been there before. Right? I need that money now. Now imagine you had put that money to work for you back then and say, you know what, I'm good. The coronavirus coming. It's coming. I mean, we're like it just woke up one day and we just had coronavirus. That wasn't the case, right? You say, man, I could use them little $200-300 right now, or to that degree. Well, again, Wall Street has no shame. The same way you was having that thought, or you might have had that thought in hindsight. Wall Street was like, okay, coronavirus coming. Markets are already starting to feel the effect of it to a degree. That's before it really began to plummet, right? From 339, right? And again, we got fair signals that it was going to happen, right? I can show you. Again, I'm not just talking here. I'm not just making this stuff up, right? They say, how the little saying goes, you can't make this stuff up, right? Well, I'm not, stretching it by any means. You cannot make this stuff up. So, case in point, let's go there real quick. Again, this is all education purpose and education purpose only, right? We're gonna run this like we got the wherewithal and the mental faculty to be able to understand exactly what we're talking about. Because again, I'm always gonna speak from a place of layman terms. I'm always gonna speak from that position, right? Now, instantly, if you look real quick, right? Really quick here. Really quick here. I want to show you this real quick. Show you exactly what I'm talking about. Right? If you look at the S&P 500 right here, this one we got that signal. February 20, right? If you can go back and look at any newsreel, publication, magazine, whatever you get your news from, sound bites coming from whatever, at that point, it was pretty much obvious that this coronavirus was getting ready to what? Start digging into America. That's when it really, like we say, the camel, the straw actually broke the camel back. That's during that time frame. That's when it really became evident. Okay, we finna start having to deal with this thing. We'll start having to deal with this thing. The next following day, again, you went from 339, you went down to around about 330, 333, start showing that weakness. We start saying, okay, these things finna start affecting us. from here, it went from 332, it gapped down, I mean, it dropped, the market is dropping here, all the way down to like 322. So basically about 10 points, 10, 12 points, it dropped from 332, 333, all the way down to 321, 321, right? After that, the next following day, on the February 25th, right, this thing is timeline, right? At the peak, it was around about 324. It gapped down, or dropped down, excuse me, I should say dropped down all the way down as low as 309. All right, roughly about, again, you can see that in about 19, 18 points, near 27 points, somewhere close, somewhere near that little range, whatever, give or take. Right? Next day, you get the same thing, weakness again. Another red day in the market. And then you get to a point where the market has what they call a mental stop loss. See this yellow line? That's what they call a mental stop loss. It's called the 200-day moving average. That means the market typically trends in correlation to this long trending line as the way to let you know that everything is working fine and everything is going smoothly in the stock market. As long as that line stays almost like in a straight line or up and to the right, that means everything is going well in the stock market. It's a very weighted indicator or weighted average indicator that tells investors that we're doing pretty well, right? We're doing pretty good. We can stay above that line. Now, this one up here is the 20-day moving average. Now, if you can stay above that line, especially on a lengthy, long chart aspect or like months, then that means you're doing really, really well. So this right here is just saying, okay, this is my what? My backstop. This is my, my emergency fund money, right? Up here is my what they call my club money. This 20-day moving average is my club money. This is when it's getting juicy, right? So instantly, y'all know what I'm saying. So instantly, right here, when the market, meaning the overall market, S&P 500, right, lost this 200-day moving average, it fell below it. That was the real true signal that the markets were in trouble. That was on the February the 27th. Now imagine this. Now I'm gonna ask y'all a simple question. What was y'all doing February the 27th? For some of you guys that can remember, right? And whether or not you had some money at that time when you think about still going, because at that point we were still getting close to this, this lockdown stuff. We wasn't there yet, we wasn't there yet, obviously, but we knew that the virus was coming, so people were trying to plan and provide, think about it, that was planning early, right? At that point, people were starting to go buy some of these stores out. Let's be real. Some people still buy. Y'all saw them pictures at the time. People were buying out Costco, all that stuff. And people like, man, nobody worry about this virus. It's just like a regular flu. Am I lying? Am I lying? Y'all saw them pictures?
Nope.
They were like, man, I'm good. I'm straight, bro. I'm straight, bro. I'm good, bro. Other people like, I'm finna go get this toilet paper, the paper towel, the canned goods. I'm finna get right. They went and got all the hand sanitizer that you can't find right now. They got it all. And they got it at what? Regular market value. Right at regular market value. No markups. Now you finna pay crazy markup. Again, case in point, I'm just making a point. Right here, market's in trouble. Right? So if you had money to go at that point, what you call your mad money, your miscellaneous funds, to do something or to put it away to prepare for a rainy day, that was your moment. I know it's hard to think about that when you're like, man, I think we're straight because, again, you always say, the government got you and, they're going to do their part and whatever, man. You know how people think. Again, it's not a detriment or whatever. It's just that some people don't see these things this way. But if you are, again, financially literate to the degree where you understand when things like this happen because they do affect overall markets, well, guess what? This affects also corporations too. If the stock market sells off, it affects these small companies that make up the S&P 500 or make up the overall company. That means they're being now, thinned down to a degree, and they have to start making some more egregious decisions to make sure they keep their business afloat. So it also affects their products, their services that they offer too. It might be an inflation on their product prices. It may be a lessening of the products that they have to offer, a more increased price on their services, or a decrease in service, or they might do away with their service altogether. Which we saw that with a plethora of different companies that was going through it. So again, in this moment, you say, okay, well, I'm going to start putting my money away. I'm going to be very tight. I'm not going to be buying stuff unless I really need it. I'm going to get frugal because this thing probably going to get out of control. And in case in point, here's how we know it got out of control. Because after that point, at the lost 200-day moving average, in terms of the stock market, that is, right, it was just a free fall. After that, it was just obvious because guess what? The deaths in Seattle, right? The deaths in Seattle, right? Between February 28th to March the 5th, right? Those deaths in Washington, excuse me, Washington, that was Seattle, I think. And then we start hearing about, things starting to pick up traction. So all this right here is reflective of that. All that uncertainty, right? And now you got the market doing what now? So it's arching back up here. So now they're trying to save it now. This is what they call greedy money, trying to save the financial markets. They're literally trying to save it, right? It broke a key level of resistance today around the 260 handle, which is still ain't in, it closed above it. That was the goal. The goal is to always close above it, not necessarily poke up above it, but to close above it, right? So it barely closed above it, right? I mean, by a hair. I mean, literally by a hair. I'm not making this up. Y'all see that on my screen? It barely closed above it. But that's a psychological victory for Wall Street, right? Because now this 20-day moving average, which is a red line here, is that benchmark launching pad to try to catapult it high if they got the ability to do that. Even though they just print money left and right like it's going out of style and acting like, again, we're in the all clear in terms of coronavirus, all this. Yet the bodies are piling up in New York right now. I hate to even use that terminology, but y'all know exactly what I mean. Them bodies are piling up. And you also dealing with what? New York, Chicago, Detroit, Louisiana, other states now, they're, deaths are starting to be registered because more people are now being tested. More people obviously, having to deal with this virus when before they probably didn't even know they even had it because everybody couldn't even get tested when you're supposed to have had the ability to get tested. Whether you was, concerned that you had it or you didn't, you still should be like, okay, I want to get tested just to make sure. Right? But they even telling you that you can't even do that now. Because that means that tells you that they're not prepared. But again, y'all know me, I'm always gonna bring this thing full circle. But they got billions and billions and trillions of dollars to dump into what? The stock market. They're trying to save it over necessarily trying to make sure that you're good to go. And then turn around later on coming back and save this. They're trying to do it all in one. And ain't nowhere in human history that has ever been capable of doing something like that. And in a moment where if you don't take care of the people that make the economy, this economy ain't going to exist worth crap anyway. But they don't see it that way. You know why? Because corporate greed says, guess what? I don't care what y'all doing. Y'all better get the stock market off the lows. Right? Because I bought in up here. I'm in up here. Right? But Main Street don't even know about any of this. And Main Street way down here somewhere. I can't even pull up on the camera. Main Street way down here somewhere. Like way down here somewhere. And so all this up here to the upside is the greed of Wall Street that's why they're not even concerned about none of this stuff that most people run around and think about right now. Because again, somebody went into the stock market today and bought that stock Ecor at 45 cents, 42 cents a share, about 10,000 shares, right? Or 20,000 shares, right? Or 30,000 shares, and walked away with about a $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 bag. And for people that bought more than that, you can do the math going forward and going higher. Right. So again, you just gotta learn how to really, really think about it. When I say think about it, meaning compartmentalize your resources, meaning your money, right? And how you look at it going forward. How do you define risk? Right? It's going to a club that that might be suspect, where it might be suspect, and you understand the risk that's involved with that just to have a good time and party. Is that not the same if you invest in a company with the idea that if it does, does not turn around and do the thing you want, or at least you can put a stop loss on that. Right? You put a stop loss on your money, protect your money in the stock market. But if somebody get the rain of them bullets in the club, you can't put a stop loss on that bullet. I guarantee you can't stop that bullet like Superman. I guarantee you can't.
Nope.
Right? This ain't a Neo in the Matrix. You ain't finna be bending backwards and dodging bullets. When them bullets get to flaring, you gonna do like most people, get the ducking or get the running, and you can't stop it if it's moving your direction.
Cop.
So I'm just talking about defining risk, right? Or making a bad. Y'all know what I'm saying. Whatever out there in terms of risk that you're taking, when you start again compartmentalizing, what's the pros and cons of that risk, and then you hear people come to you and say, "Man, well, the stock market is this, though. The stock market is gambling, and all this, that, and the third, right?" but they don't understand the intricacy of the education behind that tells you you can make very informed, educated decisions on how you allocate your money to go to work for you as opposed to you go work for it. Because I guarantee when you go out and spend it, you liquidate. You liquidate. You don't appreciate, you liquidate. You think you appreciate it for the product that make you feel good about yourself that you could buy and spend it on this, that, third, may give you a little emotional high. That's fine. But that money is depreciated as soon as it leaves your hand. So you already have accepted the fact that you define risk by whether or not you can afford it or not. Well, I just showed you again a 42-cent stock. Could you afford a 42-cent stock? Is that gonna cause you to lose a nail or lose an eyelash or hurt your elbow trying to like, oh man, you're gonna lose a brain cell just by really thinking how hard that's gonna be just to spin that to the stock market? To put it to actually work for you? Because y'all know a lot of people need this money right now. When I say they need this money, they need other streams of income. They need other ways to produce income. Let me just say it that way. They need other ways to produce income. Right? You don't have to go out there and cut grass and risk getting the coronavirus and wash somebody's windows. Well, most of these companies shut down anyway, right? There's some people out there trying to get these little what you call emergency jobs to kind of keep people at least taken care of, like delivery drivers. Delivery drivers right now are through the roof right now. Now all of a sudden, delivery drivers are going to be popular because you can't go in the restaurant and sit down and eat. So companies still want to keep the restaurant open. They need delivery drivers to deliver food to people that can't go out because they shut in. So unless you're going to go find a job like a little gig job like that, right, or catch one of these warehouses that need people to help them with their supply chain or their distribution and packaging and stuff to get goods out through ordering because people can't go out and necessarily buy it outright, then you kind of like everybody else. You stuck at the house. Or you got to have a skill set where people trust you, that know that you ain't got that Rona, right? And they need you to come over and take care of some kind of aspect of their house or, cutting their hair or doing their hair. You're going to still want to look good during the coronavirus now. You ain't going to catch them on Facebook with that messed up hair. You're going to find a way to get that stylist over there to the house. Look, you got that coronavirus, Sheila. Girl, I don't think I got that coronavirus out. Look, when you come now, I need you to take a temperature and message it to me in the picture form. Let me see you. Let me check your temperature. Now, you need this money, and I need this hair done. Now, we're going to meet in the middle, or we ain't going to get it. You out there playing a shade tree doctor trying to get your hair done still. I'm risking getting that Rona. You're going to risk that Rona, boy. But again, y'all know what I'm saying. I ain't speaking that it ain't probably happening. Y'all know, man, people resilient or try, they're going to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to do what they got to do. I already know I look like straight bad grills over here with my beard. And I need to get my little hair done like everybody else. But you know what? I said, you know what? Okay, that's the least of my worries right now. Right? Yeah. That's the least of my worries at this particular direct moment. Because number one, I can't really go out nowhere, so I ain't got to press nobody. I do got some standards. I do have standards. However, that's the least of my worries right now. I'm trying to find ways to, to increase income generating opportunity. I'm trying to share it with others, right? So they can obviously see the benefit or the value or the gravity within the opportunity to see that you're not limited to wait on a Trump check, right? And it cannot discriminate against you for race, color, creed, sex, gender, orientation. As Dr. Clark would say, midget, humpback, smurf. None of that stuff. They can't bar you from this opportunity. They don't run your credit. They don't care about your credit. They don't care about your criminal background, right? They don't care about baby mothers, baby fathers. They don't care about none of that. They don't ask none of that. All they need is your Social Security, which directs you back to the IRS. That shows that you're legal, and the rest is history. And so people out here trying to make acting like that's a hard decision in relation to trying to go get more credit in a debt society moment like that, just to be able to finance their moment in this coronavirus. People trying to go out and get a new credit card just to finance their moment of being sitting home. Unless you're gonna put that money to work too, then you finna, man, look, you back as hustle. That's crazy.
Yeah. More debt.
Right. It's more debt. But again, some of us ain't thinking. I'm sorry about that, Sister Camille. Y'all know I get to talking and get to look in the back chat to bring y'all into the room. But yeah, so forgive me, guys. Forgive me, everyone. But y'all know I did. I get on a little tangent or whatever. But but more importantly, we think this way, right? We think this way. Deep down, we think this way. Whether we can discuss with other people or we don't have the ability to discuss with other people, a lot of us do think this way. We're intelligent enough to know what's going on, right? And so again, that's why it's important when you have moments like this, and you find that one or two, people that you might have seen in your little Facebook live feed, your Twitter feed, your Snapchat, whatever, and they posting stuff about stocks and investing, and you see them demonstrating action with their trades and this, that, and third. It might behoove you to start asking that person some questions. Because I guarantee that person is well equipped right now more than anybody else on this planet right now to be able to weather this storm a little bit better than people who are waiting on a Trump check. Because they have ability to go into equity markets and pull greed away from what? Greed. Let that marinate for a moment. Because right now, the Federal Reserve is dumping large swaths of cash in the equity markets to save it. So literally, there's your money anyway. So why not go and get it? Am I lying? For my investors and traders in here, am I lying? It's your money anyway. Right? So if you don't utilize it, guess who's going to use it? Bernstein, anything with a steam behind it, ain't they tell you right? Anybody with it, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all the Bank of America, all of them going to use it. Them hedge funds, Elliott Management, PIMCO, all the little, they going to use it. And then, people like me going to use it. And people like Sister Camille and Over Chris and, Brother Raul and everybody that's in that back chat that's investing and trading in the markets who've taken the, opportunity to learn this, to understand and go find alpha and seek yield in equity markets and utilize putting your money to work for you, you're going to benefit from it. Obviously, you got to make sure that you're properly doing it right. Right? But you're going to benefit from it. Right? So again, I just want to put that in the context, guys. I'm not, y'all know me. I get on a little tangent. I have to go in a little bit. Right? But I understand the power of what we say community, right? The ability of your community, right? The ability of your of your think tank or your group or whatever the case. For us, again, we need we need places or communities like this, right? You need the ability to have platforms where you can come on and really learn something, not just be talked to, but see it through the aspect of demonstration in terms of what you already know collectively onto your own intellect on how you can be just as effective doing something that you see other people doing, that really doesn't separate you from anybody else because you just took a chance on yourself yet, to be honest. Again, because y'all know I always say this, right? And I'm going to keep saying this. I don't own the stock market. So therefore, I cannot sell you nothing, right? So I want you to come over here saying I can't sell you nothing. I don't own the stock market. I own it through the value of the money that goes into it because they take money out of everybody, tax and all this stuff. So consequently, indirectly, you own it, but you may not be performing in it. It's a debt that's being racked up through other aspects that's funded into the stock market, and everybody is incentivized under that debt or these equity stocks that are ramping up to the upside. People out there making money on that stuff just by pushing of a button, and they out of there. Literally, 3 and 4 seconds, 10-second trades, 5-minute trades. I've seen it all. And Jiggle like, man, look, bro, I'm done for the day. Like, dude, the market just opened up. Yeah, I'm done already, bro. 2 or 3 minutes in, them jokers done for the day. Now, imagine you walk into your job, you clock in, look at your boss, look at your paperwork, go to your keyboard, hit a couple buttons, and you say, I'm out of here for the day. Like, dude, you just got here. What? Your coffee's still cold, ain't even cold yet. I'm out of here. That ain't gonna happen. Unless you got that kind of job, take it back. But again, y'all get my point. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm done with my little rant, right? On why you need to take advantage of the same thing that Wall Street take advantage of, meaning they're dumping all this money into the stock market, tons of it, to the point where they don't even want this market to correct properly, meaning they don't want it to come down naturally enough where like it should do. But then natural disasters are natural disasters. You can't put money on this and stop this alone, right? Y'all been hearing that talking point. How they trying to They're trying to buy the coronavirus
Right.
off. They literally trying to buy the coronavirus off. Like Joker sitting there negotiating with the coronavirus head man, like, hey, bro, look, man, look here. Now. We got your bag over here now. I need you to stop acting retarded over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to, get on up out of here, right? Because Trump ain't happy about his little economy. Right? I'm gonna need you to roll out, right? That's what they're trying to literally do, right? So y'all know in the real world, it don't work that way. Life don't work that way, right? You got to deal with the problem. Right? No amount of money you can throw at it, it can help, but it's not enough to stop the idea of what it really entails to stop this reality.
And try to put a Band-Aid over it.
Right. And that thing gushing, plasma. So, and we just getting started. So again, I asked that question the other day too. If y'all think we on the back end of this virus right now, then y'all please convince me that. Please convince me that we are. Because again, that the president just came out yesterday and literally told y'all from that little Easter little mandate he was trying to push for, it got everybody excited and pumped up, and they had the markets ramping up behind that too, thinking we going to reopen the economy. And smart people prevailed in the end. Science prevailed in the end and said, dude, if you don't get from in front of this microphone, lying to these people that they got the ability to be back out there in general public with this virus running rampant, talking about working just for a ragged economy.
Right.
But yet y'all printing money like it ain't no tomorrow, as if it even matters at this point. So that shows, number one, they're hustling because the Federal Reserve ain't stopped printing money yet. They ain't stopped yet. That printer been singing since 2019 September. It's been singing. It's even worse now. Right? So again, don't be misled. Don't be blind out there. Don't be acting like this stuff ain't important, because you ain't gonna convince me that it's not important to know this. Because your money now, your livelihood is now being wrapped up into it. So you need to learn. Why wouldn't you? It don't cost you nothing to learn it. Right? And I'm not necessarily just saying learning, even investing, just learning how, the financial district aspect of your money, really how it really operates. And then you decide yourself whether or not you want to learn how to put your money to work for you, more or less, as opposed to you going to work hard for it. All right. So again, I'm gonna leave it there. Again, I just wanted to come on and explain that. Again, y'all know there's always a method to my madness, but I really like to try to break this stuff down in layman terms. Not that I know it all or I'm some kind of financial guru. I'm not. I'm just like y'all. I'm the first one to say we intellectual peers at this, because y'all have the same, understanding in your own right, and you know exactly how to explain it to other people around you. But what makes us most important, I would say this, because we do have this is our part of our profession, right? As an investor trader, you have to be up on all of those things that most people obviously look at like, man, anybody got time for that, right? People are like, man, the government crooked. That's all I need to know. That's the end of discussion, right? Yeah. But you need to know how crooked they are, though. You need to figure out how crooked they are, right? That's what's important, right? No, go a little deep, find out just how crooked they are. Then you be like, okay, now I got some ammunition, right? When they go low, I know exactly what they're gonna do. So that's why this is important. So I'm gonna end it there, guys. So again, we do got distinguished people on the back chat in the panel. Again, we got, I'm sorry, so, just kind of going up people that we got over Chris in the house, brother Raul. We have sister Kim in the house. Sister Kim, are you there? I see her in the back chat. She might just be listening in. Well, sister Kim is in the building. Also, we have the illustrious Miss Kim. Okay, how you doing, sis?
Good.
Awesome. So what are you taking away from today? What have you been able to take away from this bill today?
Well, I'm just now getting into looking at the stock market. I mean, I have investments, but I let the bank handle it. So now I've been looking at it myself just to try to see where I can benefit and help my family out. I'm trying to build wealth here.
You said the key thing, right? Now what? I'm about to start looking at this, right? Because before you just put your hand in your money in the hand of who? A trusted institution, as you think it to be, and then you let them go and do what with it?
They make the decisions, and I don't know if it's the right decision or not. So I need to know.
Bam. Because just like I just showed you how the institutions are buying up the market and making billions and billions of dollars. Now, how much of that you think you made out of that today? Or how much you could have made if you had been in control of that today? That's the question you need to ask yourself. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's important to, you learn it in a way where you can earn it on your own time, right? Under your own dime, right? Because if you got it through the bank and they're charging you a fee to manage your money for you, the same way, again, you want to take your money and go give it to a raw stranger on the street and say, here, hold this 5,000 till I come back 3 months from now. That's the same way you need to start looking at these banks. And I'm not just saying that just to kind of make poke fun. I'm being 100% serious when I say that. Because you're not going to convince me just because you think that they know more than you, which obviously they don't when it comes to this, in the essence that you can't learn it, that you couldn't have taken that same $5,000 that you put in the hands of your banker broker, right? And he said, okay, I could yield you about a 10% yield or a 12% yield or 7% yield on an annual fiscal basis, and you fine with that. But yet still, again, understand there's risk involved what you do as a trader, but you even learn how to invest your own money to get a better return over even a long-term period, the same way they would. You can still put your money to work in better places that can give you a bigger return. Right? And that's before you go test those stocks like E-Core or a Tops or any of these stocks that jump up and run, 100+% in a day because the coronavirus news has captivated those companies or gaslit them in a way that they're doing something to stop this coronavirus. So that $5,000 on a 200% plus increase would have brought you what? 15 racks. Let that marinate. But your bank produce you every bit about a 7% yield on that, even if it's a money market account. Even if that, and that's kind of rich. 7% not in money market there, but just them investing it, and they say they yield you a 7%, right? 7% of 5,000 is what? Like okay. When again, you could have, 200% of that or 300%. We got, man, y'all know what I'm saying. People that, in it, when start jumping and run, man, you're like, man, look, like, this is crazy. So again, that's why it's important. So take it serious, guys. Again, we got resources. If you're new, you won't learn. Again, this ain't me doing, this ain't a recruiting show. This is just saying, hey, make some decisions that that's gonna benefit you, right? Because we ain't selling that over here, right? My channel ain't even monetizable. I got a little cash app. You feel like you want to donate for the content, right? But outside that, ain't nothing monetized over here. I do offer training services on the Retrade HQ, right? That's on the personal level. But outside of this here, this all on the house. It's always going to be on the house because you know why? The house need this. Because guess what? If Brother Zane got a bag, if Sister Camille got a bag, if Sister Kim got a bag, if Brother Raul got a bag, if Over Chris got a bag, and again, I go down the chat. If Brother T got a bag, and Brother David got, everybody got a bag. Brother CD3, my brother from another mother, Marvin Hewley got a bag. If all of us get in the bag, then that means in hard times, your circle pretty much solid. Your circles are solid. So I'm saying you got people that even if you did hit a little hard time, hey, I got you. I know what you do. I know how you get down. So even in the time restraint, let it unfold. It's gonna unfold, right? It's gonna unfold because it's gonna come back, right? So that's the reality in this. So learn it so you can earn it. Let me repeat that. Learn it. That's a t-shirt moment. It's probably already out there, but we're gonna say it anyway. Learn it so you can earn it. Right? Sound like an infomercial almost did. But I ain't saying nothing that's not the truth. You see what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying is the truth. All right. So that's it. So again, since you guys got the floor again, I know y'all probably want to talk about some stocks too. Sister Camille, I know you probably been getting it in today. I'm pretty sure Over Chris been dropping data today. Sister Kim, obviously she's new, she's learning. I'm definitely sure she's taking away some information here today to utilize obviously and build up her her financial literacy bank. And everybody else that that kind of tuned in. Again, I'm grateful and thankful. Always, anybody come to my little channel. I'm nobody special, right? But I enjoy my little 10 people show up with my little 10, 12 because I know what all you need is that many. You know why? Because if you guys are the benchmark to learn this, you can go out there and affect a lot of other people, right? The amount of people that you can affect through your level of demonstration, because you can show them. You can just have to, you're not gonna be like the people that's always talking about it. You can show them, right? You can show them exactly how you did it too. Like we just did with that stock E-Core. I didn't trade it today. Again, disclaimer: I didn't trade E-Core today, right? However, it wasn't out of my wheelhouse that I could have traded if I wanted to. Right? I could have easily traded if I wanted to. Right? And just to be, let me see, did we had what we had on the scanner today? Just kind of talk about my little scanner here. Right? This is a stock, a tool that works for me. Right? Yeah, actually we did. We put an alert on it today on Black Box. We did that actually $1.09 to be exact, and the stock still ran up to at the very peak of in the 240 something, but on the count around, 240. Yeah, it ran around 240. I was looking at it wrong earlier. It went to 240. So even in that moment, it picked up $1.40 off the alert that this scanner gave me. So if I wanted to, all I had to do is just follow my scanner. Right? Trusting the idea and then go get the bag. Simple as that. By me doing that, I'm like, okay, no fuss, no fight. Right here. See, I'm case point, demonstrate. 109, we gave an alert on this stock at 12:06. Literally at 12:06 p.m. We gave an alert on Black Box at $1.09. Not even down here, because I could have saw it way down here and got it hit too, because it was popping on a lot of these little social media sites. People already talking about it. I already knew about it. But regardless, right here at 109, I trust my scanner. I get in. Boom. 109, 110. I get filled about 110, 109, 112. It still went up and hit like $2.43 at the peak. So I still was able to pick up, $1.40 some cents a share in about an hour to be exact. So 12:06 to right here at the peak was like 110. True story, 110, about 110 p.m. So that's $1.40 in a dollar. Excuse me, about an hour. So that's stuff I'm talking about. So again, hey, make your own decision, but understand you're not locked away from the opportunity. And I'll leave it at that. All right, so Sister Camille, over Chris, Sister Kim, you guys got anything y'all want to discuss? This coronavirus, what's happening in y'all neck of the woods? Any special emergency news reels that came out concerning yours? I know they hit mine up today. The greater DC area and also Virginia, they had the governor speaking, in these areas, about this new coronavirus. So it's starting to ramp up. They actually shut more people down now.
Yeah,
they say they're
talking about COVID. I'm sorry, Oba. No, I was saying
go ahead.
Close the books down.
Different to close what down? I'm sorry. Say that again, Sister Camille.
Close the park.
The stores?
No,
They're getting ready to close down the park.
Virginia's gonna be shut down, just like Maryland.
New York.
Okay, so we know Sister Camille, New York. Where you at, Sister Kim? What state you in?
I'm here with you. I'm here in Virginia with you.
Okay, yeah. So yes, it's in Virginia. All right, we know over Chris is in Texas. Raul, I think his phone messing up, but he in California, obviously. And wherever everybody else may be respective in their own little state. So again, since that what we got out of Trump Sunday, they shut it down, right? For to April 30th, that means the entire economy or the entire nation shut down under that mandate. And that's before your state even take it further, right? Because they have the ability to take it further, right? So the nation is under the April 30th shutdown, right? So that means you got an entire month that you ain't got no choice but to sit down. Now let that marinate for a moment. Now when that Trump check gonna come again? I'm just when they gonna cut that Trump check?
Sure,
that Trump check gonna be late to two left shoes, bruh.
Houston just confirmed his third death of the coronavirus.
See, look at that. And it's pretty much to the point where we know these things are going to happen, but it doesn't still negate the fact of the magnitude that it's actually happening, right? Something to this level, whether you downplay it as just a flu or not, but the rapid rate of the spread is like, man, larger than anything we've ever witnessed before. And people ain't finna sit here and convince me now on that silliness that it's just a regular flu. Right? When we're seeing people around us contracting now, we're seeing
that's not hardly a regular flu.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm messing up the whole. My computer is.
No, you're all right. You're all right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's not a regular flu.
You're all right.
Yeah, it's
people have you believe that.
Right. Well, uninformed people.
Right.
I'd be like, I'm not trying to
So
catch
this thing
that.
ramping up. Exactly. Right. I don't even want to test it. I ain't got no point to prove.
Exactly.
Right. This ain't one of them. They say this ain't one of them Hollywood Code moments.
Yeah, I keep breathing.
Yeah, our brother Donna's, you know, he called it.
And,
Y'all seen this page? He called
yeah,
it.
I saw. One of my
Y'all saw how much weight? Y'all saw how much weight he lost? Did y'all see that the one he did, showing how he think he caught how much weight he lost? You know he was, because Donald ain't been seeing him play around. He looked like he was like he been here, came out at the end of a war.
Mm-hmm.
Did he lose weight? I mean, you could see it in his face. Everything. I was like, man, look at my brother. Man.
Right.
And there's a lot of people out there obviously they ain't gonna be able to say that because they you know it's taking them out. You know, so again, so people that run up on you with that old, you know.
Like I said, when I
no, go ahead, sis.
My friends passed away from it the other day.
Yeah, and Marilyn and Sister Monica, you know, she had a friend that passed yesterday too. You know, so
and I got another friend that
you know,
just went in the hospital for it.
Yeah.
This ain't nothing to be playing around with. My mask should be in the mail today.
Right, because jokers out here still thinking they ain't got to get no mask. If they're gonna be out there in general public, that is, or you know, at least some kind of protective aspect that could look at him.
Oh yeah, my sister is making masks now. She sews and she's making masks for like family and extended family. We're gonna mail it to them.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's what's supposed to be happening. That ingenuity aspect where people got skilled and ain't sitting around here waiting on, you know, these folks. No, see, that's how you get it in like that.
Yeah, we're using air filters to put as the filters in the mask.
Look at that.
The air filters for HVACs. Mm-hmm.
And here you got, again, states like New York, New Jersey, now Chicago, now Detroit, and all the others who are paying top dollars to get those masks. They looking at the private sector, they looking at major corporations. Anybody that got, if you can put together a nice little amount, they'll buy it off of. As long as they feel like it's, you know, it's standard the way they're gonna buy it. And so again, it's ways you can still capitalize off, you know, off this unfortunate virus just by being creative. You know, with a hobby, whatever, you know, whatever the case, you can still capitalize off of it. You know, so there's ways to still, you know, get a little bag. You know, this is more of a, you know, awareness channel, but it's definitely dealing around financial literacy because, again, it's a lot of people out there who are thinking just like this, and they ain't wasting no time trying to get to this bag, right? they ain't gonna waste no time, right? Because money is also still made even in moments like this, unfortunately. But that's just how the world works. The same way when Katrina hit and messed up all Texas and Louisiana, all that, it was still money being made. Right? If you figure out how to, you know, still be a part of that scenario and not wait on somebody else to cut your bag, so to speak. So again, this virus is here, man, and again, I just hope everybody stays safe, you know, best you can, you know, and then hey, y'all know what it's like. So the numbers are evolving. See, I go to the next. And y'all say, yeah, what's going on in Maryland? What's going on in where you at, Kim? What's the heightened level of sense around there? Are people panicking? Are they calm a little bit? Or what the stores looking like? Or what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh well, this Kim, I'm in Virginia with you. I'm not far from you.
Oh, I keep saying Maryland. Yeah, but VA. Well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's I've been staying in. I haven't been outside my neighborhood in 2 weeks. So I have a 2-year-old as well. I'm trying to keep him good.
Right. So I'm talking about, especially people got, like I say, kids, you know, and you know, after the latest, you know, set of data, because now, you know, they just had a so they had an infant pass away from this thing, because you know, before these little teenagers were thinking they were just, you know, invincible. right? That's why they were still partying and going to the beach. Man, we get you. We can, man, it's starting to get them some of them jokers too. So yeah, good luck for people out there again thinking that they're invincible because and meaning just out there in general public just doing what you want to do, having coronavirus parties and all that foolishness and bringing that stuff back to people who's sensitive. You got elders and you got kids, man. I just want to say it's some selfish people in this country.
Yeah, very, very
selfish. And these all this red up here is that's just not because the virus just said up tomorrow I'm just gonna up and just fly on over the hour. It don't work that way. Like, this ain't like springtime. Pollen. The tree release pollen and all that pollen just go give everybody the virus. Now this is human to human contact pretty much transporting it, right? Airplanes and all that other foolishness and people just trying to escape New York up here. Because that's basically what's happening now. People trying to get up out of New York and they taking it and spreading other places, right? Because those people that that still want to go out there and be all like this, just wide open, and they're the ones taking it and infecting everybody instead of sit still, like they telling people to do, sit still, let it move, and then you should be good to go. And that's what's becoming even more of a problem because again, you got a lot of people who are in their own respective areas too that take that same approach. Not just New York, but Atlanta. Y'all see Atlanta starting to pick up now. When we looked at this chart the other day, Atlanta was, it was starting to get there, but it wasn't like this. Now you're really starting to see these bigger red dots, the bigger dots, right? The clusters are starting to look like, like this here. That's like, and look here, you got places like down here, like, bro, I know these places are Georgia here. Man, ain't nothing up in them places like that, but man, cornrow fields and them kind of people, man, like how they got the virus? Like, bro, ain't no airplane. They ain't even got no airports. No airport nowhere in this area. They got to go to Savannah and Tallahassee and places like that. Ain't no airport around here. So how they getting the virus? Right. Even look at it.
Traveling.
Right. Look at it. Who is this joker? Remember we were doing that the other day. Like, who is this joker? Like, who are you? How they get the virus way down here? In the middle of nowhere. Like this, I know it's crazy, bro. Like, man, ain't nobody even down them areas. Like my buddy was on. I don't know if he's still on or not, but I got family down there like Apalachicola, Panama City, even Port St. Joe, even down here in Florida, 10 to 4 Bay. Now you ain't nobody around here with it yet. That's the problem. I know because a lot of people ain't been tested yet too, but Tallahassee, Tallahassee definitely gonna have it. We got an airport there. But some places you like, man, look, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like how they get the virus, how they got that Rona. So that's what's about that makes this virus much more superlative than that of just a regular common flu, right? It's just not. I just can't hear that talk about anymore. It's like now at this point you're just being ignorant. You hear people say that, like, you're just being ignorant at this point. Because the rate of contagion is totally much more, much more heightened than it just being okay. I can catch a cold because a person sneezing and whatever, nah. So yeah, so it's getting serious, guys. So you say over Chris, you say y'all had just had another confirmed death too. So again, people like we were talking about Louisiana, Texas the other day. It's never to start to ramp up. I don't know what again. We have to go back and rewind what it was that last night, but them never started to ramp. Them never started to ramp. So.
They closed the borders between Texas and Louisiana.
So they went ahead and did that? Okay, yep. See, I knew that was going to come eventually. Because now, see, that's the next thing, right? Because this is what we were talking about before. Remember on the last couple of shows? It was like, y'all know it's going to get crazy when they start doing what? Domestic travel, right? That's why they're trying to get on top of New York. Because see, New York, again, for what it's worth, New York is the poster child for exactly that. These people trying to escape New York. They got the Rona.
Yeah, they were
running to everybody else. Right, they're running to everybody else and infecting them now.
Breaking out.
Right, going to Chicago, infecting them, running over to Detroit, infecting them, hit to Florida, infecting them, going to Atlanta, infecting them, hit down to Virginia, Maryland area, they're infecting them, right? Trying to go out west and infecting everybody else. So it's obvious that's why they was fighting over the weekend whether or not they should quarantine all of New York. And that's why everybody got mad. Like, well, no, But see, this again, this is that part of that selfishness, right? But yet the people that's leaving up out of JFK, LaGuardia, right? They getting up out of there and going and affecting everybody else. So that's the part about like people can't seem to accept that, like, man, because see, that's what you know, people like, man, this is my state, man, this ain't your state. You just live there. Shut up. Right? Y'all hear people say that, man? Like, stop trying to claim something that you don't really own. Right? I ain't gonna let no one. You just occupying space. You know, like somebody about a football team, man. That's my football team. They getting all emotional, like want to fight you over something that they don't own. They ain't even get no share options in the stock on the company. It's silliness like that. There people like that just like, I'm like, man, I gotta get away from people like that. Because they think like a child. They think like children. You just occupying space. If your space is hot for some other reason, you know, again, that's what the government is in terms of what they tell you what to do. If you follow the instructions to the degree, you know, you shouldn't be, be that much of a harm's risk unless you just really want to be out there willy-nilly. And so that's what people are doing. They still trying to be willy-nilly, got the Rona, and then they hop on a plane or get in their car and escape and get up out of there because they think about all that stuff and they go transport and give it to somebody else. You know, so it's just, man, that's why I say, if these people think this thing just gonna up and just blow away in about a month, they crazy. Because they don't know, they obviously don't understand the mental fortitude of the American people. This is the most spoiled nation on the planet. Entitled, decadent-minded, greedy, selfish, you name it. That's your average American.
Individuals. Too
right.
many individuals.
Exactly. So you know they ain't finna be sitting around here somewhere. I'm just finna just listen to this. And that's why these states are scared to go ahead and drop the hammer saying, guess what? Y'all no domestic travel. Y'all going on 100% lockdown because they still try to squeeze every little last blood out of a turnip in terms of money. You know, so again, greed begets greed. These people have no boundaries. You know, so again, you got politicians sacrificing grandma. We went through that already.
Right.
Go
grandma off the train.
Go grandma off the train, the plane. You know, Papa Willie dump off the back of a scooter. They don't care whatever they don't even care right now. Right? It's all out. You know, it's whatever. You know, so yeah, I'm just not one of the ones to sit here and you know act like I don't see this as something serious, right? Because I have a mother. Right? I have elder aunts and uncles and things of that nature I'm worried about right now. Right? And I understand the gravity, whether or not I feel like they can handle this thing or not. Y'all know y'all family members, and you ain't got to sit here and act like we don't know our family members, you know, in our own little ways. And this way this virus is crazy. And especially, you know, whether or not they can get the specific care that you know that they probably will need to be able to endure this if there ever became that issue. That's scary. You know, it's a little scary there. So it's a little bit unnerving. Again, you know, y'all know how life is. You want to go out more or less on your terms best as possible. And then something like this, of all things. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. So good. Looking at New Orleans down there. New Orleans, them dots get bigger and bigger. God, dog, that thing they got pregnant over there. That thing wasn't even, I don't know if it was that big the other night when we was on, but it's picking up there in Houston. Look at Houston now. Like you right, over Chris. That dot was not that big the other day. Or last couple of days. Now that dot getting bigger and bigger here. This little red dot. Right? So you got even the suburbia of Houston, around Rosenberg, Texas City, all them areas around there. Like I say, they starting to contract cases. So again, it's just like, man, wherever your major city at, you definitely know they're gonna have it. Major airports, international airports, definitely gonna have it. Dallas, again, we went through this stuff. You guys definitely be keeping track of this. Whether you follow Colorado, you know, we talked about even these states up here in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota and North Dakota, how they get the virus. Who is this guy up here? Like, who is him? Who is that person? Who is this? Like, who is this selfish bastard? How you bring it way up here to these people? These people here probably don't even know what internet look like, maybe. How they get the virus way up here? They near at the Canadian border. Up there in this little city, what called a city called Divide, too, of all names, Divide. Wow, crazy. You got a case way up there. Yeah, I know we make light of it here and there, but man, it's what we're dealing with. And it's all relevant because again, we're talking about the markets. What the markets just said today, right? We don't care. That's basically what stock market did. Like, okay, we can run up about 700-800 points still, and then Main Street,
right?
like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or, I don't know. That's it, go. So yeah, I mean, you guys got some trades too. You know that you might want to discuss. You know, damn, hey, the floor is yours. You already know. Come on to the panel, discuss it. You got questions about the market? You know, fire away. You got questions about trading? You know, fire away. That's what this is supposed to be about, right? It's supposed to be about, just that. You know, we're trying to, again, build that community where you can, be comfortable in asking these kind of questions. And before, most people get intimidated when you ask them about, stuff like this. Like, no, this is not time to be like, no.
Well, no, I didn't really have a question. I just came on to listen.
No, I'm just saying anybody in general. I'm speaking in general.
Right.
Just in general, anybody.
Right. Yeah, I was just saying I was just listening.
Right now, people need like that wisdom, that your experience. And, again, especially speaking about that, Sister Camille, even in your story, your journey, and many others, you guys now are the experience keeper, right? The knowledge that y'all have and experience is vital for a lot of people in terms of getting them up and going, right? Taking them through the understanding the intricacies in learning this. If they have a notion, because just like y'all know, people are starting to ask questions about it, right? Hey, what's this about now? I kind of want to know. So you have an ability to really, really, get them, again, foundated to a degree, and get them on the right direction, or in the right direction, excuse me. And it's beneficial. It's beneficial.
Mostly study fundamentals today, COT reports, that kind of thing. And, just going over some charts as far as the 20, 40, 60-day look back, waiting for them to set up. So that's basically what I've been doing. Looking at the.
Some of you guys don't know, Sister Camille, she trade equity stocks and she trade forex stocks, right? Forex market, the assets, right? The currency pairs. So,
yeah.
It goes to show you that you're not just limited to one aspect of the market. Forex, crypto, whatever you trade, equity assets, option trading. Yeah, there's a lane for each and everybody. That's what I love about this.
Yes.
That's very true. What's up, Yoba?
What's happening, Oba? Yeah, I'm just going over some of this homework, making homework for myself. Because now seeing some of the information, I can digest it better. So, just going through some of these videos and some of these PDFs I have on my iPad, and just becoming more solid in the information and what to look for on my charts.
Right. Never a day that you can't gain something from market analysis. Again, understanding how markets work, watching it, because again, you don't need those kind of special a special app or something even to watch the stock market throughout the day. Most of y'all phones already have a pre-built market app in it anyway. In most cases, open your phone up and the home thing starts showing you stock prices and weather. Like, what? I ain't even asked for the stock stuff. What this all about? Right? It's trying to show you, hey, this what's happening, in your economy right now. What's going on in the world in terms of, there's something that may affect you. And so, a lot of people look at that stuff like, man, okay, yeah, move on, man. Where that, where that video at? What's the name? Right? So they don't see it from that perspective. But again, this ain't nothing special. So you can go right over to Google and see what the market did for the day. See exactly what the market did today. It requires a rocket science behind it. So, again, we're not, saying that we even have something that's exclusive, because we don't. This is public information. That's why they're publicly traded companies. So it's easy. It's the same way I can just put in like SPY or SPY stock, right? And then guess what? Here's your S&P 500 for the day, before and after hours, right? And so again, not rocket science. Not rocket science. Then you come down and say, well, you can look and see if there's any news and anything is happening around the market and all these different little talking points, and you can just go through this stuff. Right? And the more you dig, the more you learn, right? The more it'll reveal itself. That's how anybody that has an interest in anything, that's how they learn. You have to keep uncovering more and more data about that specific structure or subject or whatever, and the rest is history. Right? The rest is history. So you got news and all that kind of stuff like that. You just come and get in the news that's surrounding the market and all this, it just, it's endless. It's endless. It's very endless. So, nothing that's out of you guys' wheelhouse. And when I say that, I'm saying that strictly, and the fact that you guys have the capability of researching anything you want. You do it anyway when you're buying shoes, cars, houses, and this, that, and the third. This is no different. Just correlate it back to an item in the market, right? A specific stock, a particular company. Kraft Heinz. If you got, Kraft Heinz macaroni and cheese in the house. Well, Kraft Heinz is a publicly traded company, right? You got, all these different other little, products all around your house, traded or underneath a parent company that are publicly traded. So you're surrounded by stocks, right? Whether you like it or not, you're surrounded by them, right? In so many ways. So, but that's just that. So, but yeah. So again, outside of that, man, it's pretty much about all I had to speak about Nasdaq. Just kind of watch the market on the back of the day, being able to help explain it to a degree what's happening, right? How important that is, right? And so we need not be confused, in watching how the market turn over, this, that, the third. We kind of on top of it. So, anything else, guys? Anything else you guys got on your mind, whatever? Sister Kim, Sister Camille, Chris, anybody in the back chat?
Not for me.
No, not for me. I just, I'm gonna do my homework. I'm also been looking into Forex as well, so I'll be doing some things with that as well.
Nice. Again, you got Sister Camille over Chris that can help you out, Sister Kim. I don't know if there's any circles that we probably, are you in that group or Facebook group by the chance, Facebook Messenger group?
No, Christy sent me the link.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we do have a Facebook Messenger group, where we're, this is what we do. This is literally, all we do, and being able to, share this kind of information, things of that nature. We're very, it's like an awesome community. That's all I can say. I love our little community because everybody being there grinding too, and learning, on their own terms. But we do have places where you can go and feel comfortable and respected, and learn this as you go. So you're welcome. If you definitely want that, just hit us up, later on or whatever. We'll get you what you need. And welcome to the deal too. Welcome to the deal.
All right, thanks. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave off because I got some things to do.
All right, sis. Be well and be safe.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, again. Yeah, so I guess I shut it down for this moment here, and then we'll come back. I'm happy we got some sunshine out there, and even though it's hard, you out there looking, you can only just roam around your little backyard, the front yard, maybe in the streets. They don't want you going too far, but I'm definitely I'm saying, looking at that sunshine, you know what I'm thinking right now over Chris. Well, fishing rod ain't gonna catch itself. It ain't gonna catch itself now.
That's right.
that baby ain't gonna get the water on his own right now. It needs some help.
Yeah. That's right. They don't know about that over.
Man, tell you what, man, that's my fallback. Sister Camille know about it a little bit. Her family be tearing that water up down there in Florida.
Yeah.
You see pictures on her little site. Her family member getting after them fish down in Florida. So, but yeah, that's my little pastime. Look at your brother Eddie. Say he caught him a smallmouth bass. And what you doing fishing? You supposed to be on lockdown, Joker. What you out there doing? The people told you to stay out there. Stay out them lakes and ponds right now. You're supposed to go lockdown. Jugger still fishing. You can take a jugger to finna go fishing though. And that's a great thing I love about it, because ain't nobody out there. Right? You the only one out, the only one out there. Especially this place, because nobody really go out there anyway. You know, I'm in the kind of, one of the areas where people ain't like that anyway. They think they too good for that around here, I guess. But either way, for me, it's like, it can get no better. I had an entire little lake and little ponds to myself. So I'm looking at that sun right now, like, woo, boy. I think the fish calling me right now. They calling me like, old buddy on, with that New Jack City, they calling me right now. They calling me, bro. They calling me.
Yeah, they want to be caught.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I got that fish fiend right now. Yeah, so that might be, like I said, I might hope that you get a chance to come back on. I might do a little live later on this evening, just in case we did in the news that came out, especially market related that we can prepare for tomorrow. Because I know somebody asked about building a watch list. I don't know if that was Raul or somebody in the back chat, but they want to know how you go about building a watch list. Brother Big Boom, he asked a question: how do you talk about shorting stocks? Yeah, see, I can build on that. If you around a little later, Big Boom, you and brother Zane, I'll build on that, because to go into that, I want to be able to open up, a lot of the data, right? Open up a lot of these websites and really break it down intricate, because obviously shorting stocks, you can say obviously all in layman terms, it's just basically borrowing shares from a broker and then selling them back at a lower price, obviously letting the stock price come down, because you're actually you're trading against the market to come down, right? That's just a layman term, but just to go deep into understanding what borrows mean, that differential in terms of what you're shorting, with margin or leverage, what you need to be paying attention to, because it's a very, it's one of those scenarios where you got to be on your game, right? You got to be on your game, right? Because it ain't just, the average is buy a little, sell high, right? And you don't have like margin. Well, in that case, you're gonna lose what you have. But shorting, if a short get away from you, it's unlimited. Right? It's unlimited loss, right? Until the broker decides to shut down, right? Shut you down at that point. But you got to be very careful with that. So I'll go in on that. Big Boom, no problem. You and Brother Zane, I'll go in on that. And we'll speak about it if you guys are all around later on. If I get a chance, I get back in, I'll do another little live. And then I'll pull up some charts and pull up some, entry exit points in terms of what I look for when I'm shorting. I got a lot of little stuff already saved anyway, my little receipts I call them, trading markets. But yeah, so we'll do that. All right, guys. So if there's anything else, unless you guys want to keep the live going, y'all can run it like last time if y'all want. If not, again, I'll start a new one a little later on. When I get back in, because it's pretty much all but certain now. Just hearing the song of my voice that I'm finna go hit this water. I got about another 2 hours, 3 hours worth of sunlight.
Yeah, I got to charge up, and I'm getting ready to get off here soon. So yeah,
okay.
Come back on later though, whenever you get ready.
All right, sounds great. All right, guys. So anything else, Sister Camille, on the way out the door? She must be, you must be busy too. All right, so I guess that's about it. So again, as always, like to say thank you guys for tuning in, hanging out with your brother. I'm humbled, as always, humbled and honored. Again, it's a village mentality. I'm always saying Ubuntu for a reason. I am, because we are intellectual peers at this, right? And so we take that mindset and being able to share this stuff too. Because I understand, it's important that we realize that we have to get back to that mindset. It's no other way around that. Especially in moments like now, because I know some of y'all need this, right? Well, you may claim you don't, but you need this. When I say need this, you need other ways to not just be limited. That's the point I'm saying. You need other opportunity that you might have been, hanging around but not necessarily taking advantage of. But you got people willing to give it to you. So I'm saying, and not charge you for it, because people out there making money off this information. Right? You don't believe me? Go to YouTube and go on Google and type in people like Timothy Sykes. Like, nothing wrong. They do what they do. But there's people out there making a lot of money off this. And I'm like, no, you can learn all this literally on your own, right? And then be effective at putting your destiny in your hands a little bit better. So
that's
yeah. So that's it, guys. Let me get out of here. So Peace, power, and profit, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, Brother T, Brother Big Boom, Brother Zane, Brother CG3, Sister Kim, and Stop Through Eva Camille, opposite over Chris as always. Brother Raul, excuse me. We had Over Gordon stop through today. Good to see you, Over, as always. We got who else came through? My brother Marvin came through today. Brother from another mother. That was that's one of my army buddies, right? Love that brother. My brother Derek came through today. We had Sister Play Hot. Adventure, she came through today. Definitely go subscribe to that sister channel. Right, she's actually in the New York area too, so she does a lot of videos. Good informative videos too. Good quality content videos too. Right, so definitely go check her channel out. You guys hadn't seen her channel. She's she models, but she's again very Renaissance minded as a woman. Into naturopathic stuff too, herbs, and it's just really overall awesome sister. Right, so definitely check her channel out. Again, everybody stopped through. Brother Over Sunline came through. Brother Mathis came through. Again, Brother Eddie came through. Brother David came through. Again, all the family. Sister came through today. Everybody. Again, I know I may not catch everybody, but again, y'all know I'm already with you. Right, one way or the other. We 10 toes down. Right? Plus tax.
Right.
So I'm humble. All right, guys. So I'll try to come back on a little later. So until then, peace, power, profit, stay safe. Get the products that you need. Don't pontificate and postulate and all that stuff that we saying. Right? Get what you need.
All right,
get caught out there.
That's
All right, guys. Peace, power, and profit. Santi, family. Santi, son. Thank you.